Yo,
Yo.
yo,
Yeah, here we go again. Another podcast. This time
yo.
is going to be focusing around chapter 1001, titled Battle of Monsters on Onigashima.
Yonigashima.
Yonigashima.
Yo.
Four digits.
Yeah, dude. When I first saw this cover page, for some reason I glanced at it and I thought it was NL, and I was like, "Yo, another NL cover page." But
Yo,
no,
this dude said, yo, he's coming back, bro. Oh, shit.
yeah, I thought it was like
Uh-huh.
stars and like aliens, and never mind. It's underwater.
Jinbei is such a Chad, dude. I mean, he's just like sitting on, he's like resting on a living being. He's not even like on a couch. He's just like
Yeah.
on
Look at
some
that
freaking
smile,
jellyfish.
too. He is happy to be doing that.
Oh, you bet, dude. You bet.
He needs to shave though.
I don't think so. I like the facial hair, man. It's pretty nice. You not a fan?
He needs to shave, yo.
I will say this only once. There is literally nothing wrong with Jinbei.
Yep.
He's a little
Shinbei.
fat.
Chinbei.
Yeah,
He's kind of
lose a
fat.
little weight, yeah.
He's a little perfect, is what you mean.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. He's got a. I don't know. I feel like he might be a little more nimble if he lost some weight.
Dad Bay. Dude, he doesn't need to be nimble. Dude fucking taking lava fist from Akainu and shit. Yeah.
That does help. He's
What a
got like
guy.
that fat shield. I feel that.
Yeah.
Jinbei resting luxuriously on a jellyfish bed. Yeah. So it was cool.
Luxuriously indeed, dude.
All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Yep.
So Kaido fucking groveling. His punch damaged me.
Yeah.
And all the people that were speculating, no, it didn't actually damage. Like there was blood coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Come on. It damaged him. Let's be real here. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
it,
gonna say this right off the bat here. All right, we're getting right into it. Zoro's dialogue right here, was that the hockey he learned from the old man in
Yeah.
Wano? Remember when you guys were talking about it being the same exact thing Zoro was using? Already?
Dude, we were speculating about the possibility.
You know, well, Archer was pretty sure
No
about
one
it.
likes and I told you so. I mean, yeah, I'll take that L. I mean,
Okay.
Also, I don't know if
thing
it was.
Red
my
just
thing is
fucking
it,
out for blood, dude.
it kind of didn't look like it. They didn't look like it had any like noticeable difference. But I mean, I guess
I
it really
really-
is. I guess it really is just going to be like any other punch, except they can hurt him now.
Well,
so.
because if it weren't like any other punch, wouldn't that be like problematic to portray every time Luffy hits someone? Like they have to do a specific type of
Well, I mean,
inverted damage. I think it's just going to be portrayed regularly.
Well,
With the little aura around the fist, of course. But besides
Zoro
that.
and Luffy didn't have the same thing, but Zoro was supposed to have like at least the emitted stuff.
No,
that's
so
what
so
it's about.
the explanation earlier in Wano, from my understanding, was saying that Wano's understanding of hockey is similar to like how Zoro learned stuff earlier in the series, but I don't think it was supposed to be like this is that in a way, if that makes sense. And
Oh no,
their
what
yeah.
thing is that Enma forces it out. Is it not like he already knew it or anything like that? No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that
but
what-
the
yeah, no, I
conversation I
agree
was
with that.
referencing before was people thought that Zoro already could do it without Enma. That was the conversation we were having in the
from
previous discussion.
Alabasta.
mm,
Yeah, and stuff
Okay,
like that. Just like hockey in general. Like putting hockey on your sword was thought to be that based on the conversation we had last week by some of the people here, not everyone.
Well, I think it's reasonable. I mean, like I think it's not like the full on like the like the internal damage stuff. It'd be like more maybe I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's
Well,
just all wild speculation because
Without
it's like,
saying anything later on, he uses it in this chapter and doesn't damage Kaido. That's
I don't
so
know.
without going too
I
much
don't
into that.
know.
But yeah, let's just
Is that gonna be
let's
the
just get to-
judgment
we'll-
now?
we'll get to that.
Kaido actually has to have an inner monologue saying, oh, I just got damaged. Otherwise,
Well, no,
it's
like
just-
usually Oda like portrays that stuff with like blood coming out of their mouth or something. Like he shows it visibly if it happens. But we'll get to that when we get to it. I was just mentioning that
sure,
for now.
yeah.
So this confirms that obviously nobody there can use what Luffy can, even like Kid can't and whatnot. which
Yeah.
isn't a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I was
Pretty
arguing with
cool.
anyone here, but I know after last chapter, people were saying, "Oh, why are Kid and Killer even on the roof if they can't damage Kaido?" And look, and now we know they can't damage Kaido. So
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
the same way anyway. They
but they're
can't
still
use
useful.
good
Like just
for
in the
it,
same way that Jinbei was useful against Big Mom. He wasn't damaging Big Mom, but he was like
Well, they have
he was
other
defending
solutions.
against her.
too.
I think
Like we'll get to that later, but they actually do bring their own little solutions to the table on how they can damage Kaido. We'll see if it works
Yeah.
or not down the line.
it's like
but-
I think it's like chip damage. It's like a little bit. It's not enough to really make a big difference, but it's a little difference. It's not like he's
We
not
know-
getting hurt from the attack like at all. It's just like so minimal that it's like it's not gonna.
Yeah, that's possible too. But
That's,
Well,
that's
the
like
thing
how
is,
I see
it's
it.
not breaking
see-
skin. That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's not like ripping through flesh, but he's still like being impacted. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
something going on there.
in a way, but it's not like hurting anything inside of him either. So
No,
yeah.
not inside of
Well,
it. No.
yeah, we've just gotten.
So
the
it's like
fight's
it's
only
basically
started
like
here.
someone flicking you.
It's not
That's
that
probably
level.
what he feels.
It
I
does,
feel like
essentially,
it does confirm they don't
I feel
have.
like
the
it is
same
that
one yet.
little. I feel like it definitely is. But
A
maybe
flick,
not,
a flick is a little bit.
dude, the way it's
understated.
portrayed is that he literally is not getting damaged.
I mean,
from
he
my
he
perspective.
fucking he like reacts to the blows like he. I mean,
True.
we're later in the chapter in this discussion, but it's like like he has a reaction to it. It's like
All right, yeah, let's get to it when we do.
Well,
I don't want to
yeah,
I don't want to
we'll
jump
get there.
ahead.
We'll get
So
there.
Anyway, then we get
I have
this
some thoughts on that, but
improved translation. How high will your ceiling go? And yes, that's
Oh,
right.
no. Before that, I love this panel where he's like, "What happened after I destroyed him in Curry?" The way he says that, it's like so fucking.
he had a
Some
main character power up is what he had.
Yeah, dude.
I destroyed him.
What happened?
It sounds
Never
like something
escapes.
like a Discord user would say.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude. It's
But
so
I agree
funny,
with you.
dude. Yeah. Oh, man.
It does sound like a fucking Zoroark. Yeah, but I agree
like-
with you on the next panel though.
Kaido's just voicing the fans like, "What happened? This is ridiculous. I can't believe this.
But Kaido destroyed him in Curry. There's no way.
Could it
Power-
be? Luffy is gonna be."
Power
a-
creep doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Dude, but the fan translation of this next panel was dog shit. You're right. But I'm very glad that this was changed for the official. Or,
Hey,
like,
I didn't
a
go that.
properly
I didn't go
translated.
that far, but it was totally different.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he like one's implying he's on that level right now. The other is like, do you have the potential to reach that level?
That and like
So it's like-
Luffy didn't imply anything. Yeah, we fucking
Yeah.
talked that shit to death in the chat, basically.
there's
I
more
did.
of a-
I did.
There's
at
more
least.
of a tone of respect in the official. Which
Yeah,
is
I mean
good.
he's acknowledging him internally. He's like, wow, holy shit! Like in this short amount of time, he's actually, because like before when he talks about your ceiling here, it's like his ceiling when they fought in Curry was like totally different. He fought him like all out. Luffy fought him all out, and he wasn't able to do anything.
Mhm.
And now when he's doing it, he's able to actually do something. So he's like, oh fuck, dude. Yeah, like, and he knows himself. It's like there's only a few fucking people ever that have ever been able to really fight me like that. So he's acknowledging him.
Poor Big Mom not showing up in the silhouette.
Yeah. I
No
assume
no
Big Mom-
Garp either. Garp fucking
Yeah.
sideline.
I assume these are the people that can use Rio. Then that's my understanding.
Yeah. My understanding is that Big Mom, she can't like pierce his skin, and these are like the people that can actually give him a real,
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I assumed that these were just the people he's actually fought, and he's
That's another.
never fought like Big Mom or Blackbeard. Or Big
Besides
Mom before Wano.
Wano, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
and even
yeah.
then, it clearly wasn't like he came out without a scratch, so
Yeah.
he's
Mm.
still right.
To
Which is
me,
cool.
yeah, it almost comes across to me as like you know how there's been this idea that kind of that's been presented to us with Kaido like almost admiring like Roger Whitebeard, Odin, etc. like that
Mhm.
kind of theme. It almost feels like he's looking at Luffy a little bit in that way. It's not an admiration thing, but it's like the idea that like, fuck, is this
Mhm.
like upstart gonna potentially be like one of these characters that I've kind of sought like after, you know what I mean? Like the kind of person
Yeah.
that
Yeah, and
I've
like
looked
in
up
the next
to.
panel, he smiles and like laughs. So I think
Yeah,
he's
he
looking forward to that in a
yeah,
way.
he's looking at his potential and he's thinking about what he's seen before, stuff like that. That's like what
Mm.
came across to me. I thought that was pretty cool.
I like
Yeah,
that Shanks is
And
there too.
going ahead just a little bit, just on the very next page, you can see he's kind of happy about where Luffy's come at this point. But then
Yeah.
Kaido also was the one who always respected and admired strength in general. So
Mhm.
like
And
strength of will.
and then he tests him again on the page after that, using the same move as before. And Luffy doesn't get one shot this time. He reacts in time to prevent himself from having that happen to him.
So it's one of those things. It's just a minor thing, but it confirmed that it was like a very fucking fast attack.
Yeah.
Which for whatever reason that was like a matter of discussion, but just confirmed that. That's what I thought before, but it was cool.
I assume
you know?
Luffy would have been able to respond if it weren't
Yeah,
fast. So
you would
yeah.
think so. Yeah,
But this is like that's very fast though, because
fast
Luffy's
as
able to
fuck.
dodge.
You read the
Luffy's able to-
future?
yeah, Luffy's able to dodge like Big Mom's attacks and stuff. So it's like
Yeah,
kind of wild.
super fast, dude. Super fast.
It's
It's
like a
true.
thunderclap.
1-on-1, bet on Kaido. That's all I'm saying.
I'm glad that they addressed that too.
It's a good
Because I'm
analogy, by
sure
the way.
that's exactly what happened back in Curry as well. The whole future sight thing.
I don't think he did use Future Sight back then, just because he was so
Yeah.
angry. I don't think he was in the right mind state based on like what Katakuri explained Future Sight to be.
Mm. Yeah, I agree.
Which is why he wasn't able to react at all last time, but he was this time. And he even like mentioned like this time that he used it this time and everything, and he still got hit. I feel like that was supposed to be drawing a comparison to what happened last time. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong.
Mhm.
But yeah. Very good, boy. You won't let the same one hit. The same one hit you head on twice. Okay, that was worded weirdly.
Yeah, so he rolled with it this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking. You know, he used the same attack. He's like, yeah, well, you've already seen this. So you can't let it happen twice in a row. Right?
You're prepared this time, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Big Mom comes in for the sucker punch, and Zora helps him out with the cool ass. I think it's cool that he learned Kinemon's Foxfire Slash.
We were all
Yeah,
hoping
I
this
think-
ever since Punk
Yeah.
Hazard. Everybody
Yeah.
talked about it, dude.
Some people
I
aren't
mean,
liking
he did
that
literally say
pretty
he
much
was
just
going
stole it.
to.
Yeah, I thought it would show him teaching it to him or something at first, but
I kind
Yeah.
of prefer it this way, but
yeah,
It's
I
cool.
think
This is like
people don't like it.
this is like typical Oda, you know, like rather than showing us like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen eventually. It's more like well, I mean, you know, like there was this. He said it before, but it was like more like yeah, he's gonna come out with it, and it's gonna be a little bit of a surprise, which is
Mhm.
everybody likes that. You know, it's fun.
also means they
Does-
have more. They have kind of a defensive thing now in the fight against the Moro breaths and the other fire-based attacks.
Mhm.
Kind of like Kinemon.
Does this? So I think we talked about this before. I can't tell if Prometheus is just screaming "Yow" because like he got split, or if he's actually taking damage from this attack.
Yeah, he actually took damage because
I don't know.
the attack cuts fire, so it's actually.
Well, no.
I
I'm
don't
not.
think
I'm
I
not.
don't think I don't think
don't
he
even-
took damage because last time Prometheus had like a little like actual injury,
Yeah, he
and
had,
he,
like,
he doesn't have like any sort of injury here.
Yeah. So I don't think he's taking damage here. I think the argument we made last time when we discussed the possibility of this in one of the previous podcasts was I think like two of you were on the side of he probably could damage Prometheus, but I always felt like I don't know. And I can't tell if he is here or not because of that like distinction. But he says
Well,
yeah.
it hurt him at least. I mean,
Yeah, this is an actual
Inaudible.
injury.
yeah.
Like
Mm,
because he's literally cutting the fire. He's not just like parting the flames with a. With
well,
a
he
punch
is
or
parting the
anything.
flame. That is
No,
what it is.
The actual fire is being cut,
Yeah,
like
It's like
the fire
both.
itself.
It's like both
Based
of those
on
things.
what?
I mean,
'Cause that's
isn't
how-
that the whole idea.
Yeah,
no,
and
he
that's
looks
Kinemon
completely
cuts
fine
fire.
later in the chapter.
Yeah,
so
he
that's
literally
why.
looks completely fine.
I mean,
He's not
he says
Well,
Yao.
it's like
I mean,
yeah,
there's no
you
other-
can be completely fine later, but like if it did nothing, like, you know, he wouldn't scream or anything like that, or like
Well-
show any sign of pain.
Well,
Yeah,
so the thing
exactly.
is, I think that's like surprise. I think the possibility that that's surprise in a
well,
way because
it's
he's not saying like ouch, ouch, ouch. He's saying
He
yow.
literally says
He does
"Yow."
both.
I
It's
mean-
Yao, and he's like ah,
It's
like
hard.
he's
He-
fucking.
Yeah,
like,
but those
full
are
on
both
screams
both
about it.
surprised expressions. Those are both surprised
Wait,
expressions. It
and
could be
Big
portrayed
Mom
as
is
a-
worried about him, which she wouldn't be if it
No.
was just like someone
Oh.
parting the fire.
no, because
Yeah, I mean,
she's
he
not
can-
worried about him. She's surprised as well
He
that he got cut.
can reform himself and whatever, but it's not like he's not. You know, it's not like that doesn't hurt. You know what I mean?
So
It's a
Brooke
weird
yeah.
thing, but it's like
When
it
Brooke
hurt.
cut him, he literally needed a bandage to like heal himself.
Yeah, but we didn't see like being bleeding cut or anything like that. He just had a bandage later. I
I
mean,
don't. I,
Prometheus might have a bandage after this
Oh.
too. We
I don't
just
think
haven't
you
gotten that
will.
far
We
yet.
see the cut.
It's
If
just
a
like
bandage
he
is
said. He
required-
says, "Ow!" He got cut in
Blood.
half. It's just
He doesn't
like,
say "ow" though. That's why I'm confused. Because if he said "ow," I'd
It- the
agree.
same thing
bro,
It is
Yao
an
is the same
expression of
fucking.
pain.
No,
I
it
don't-
isn't because
Bro.
Yao.
Hold on,
Yao let me
I'm
finish
pulling
my
up the
thought
panel
before
where
you
Luffy
interrupt.
fucking punches him. Hold on.
Let me finish my thought before you guys interrupt. So Yao can be like very easily interpreted as like a surprise, like Yao, like yikes type of thing. That's why I'm like not entirely sure. If it was, if he said like literally ow, 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 or ouch or something, that'd be another thing. But the
But
fact that
also-
it's
It's just a little too. It's like that's like looking too much into it. I think.
but isn't
Zoro
isn't
also
yours
just
also
used
looking too
the
much into it?
technique. Zoro also just used the technique to cut fire.
He used
If
a
it was-
technique. No. He used a technique that is able to split flames, which is you can't do normally with a sword. You cannot separate flames normally with a sword.
Well,
They
yeah,
use this technique to
Cutting the
separate.
fire.
I mean,
No,
Kinemon
he's
literally cuts an
separating the-
explosion in half.
Yes,
That's
but he's
okay.
using.
He's not
Holy
just
shit.
parting the flames. He's like
Yes, it
literally
is,
cutting fire.
but there's that is not a sentient being that he cut. What I'm trying to say is that the ability
a
usually
sentient
like let me think. Let me explain. Usually, when you slice a blade through a flame or something, the normal reaction is that nothing happens. Your blade just goes through it normally, right? But this is
Well, that's-
separating them. I think the distinction why it's a special attack is because it's capable of separating the flames and creating an opening within them. Not that it's literally damaging the flames themselves. I think
Take a-
that's the weird thing.
Take a look at what Adam posted in the chat.
Yeah.
I think that kind of gives us the idea of that it's doing some damage here. But
Does it?
yeah, I think it does.
He says
he
he's
just
saying
pops
bu
back
bu
with
bu
a
bu 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 bu. That is that not the same thing as saying Yao?
No, because he just pops back with a smile versus he split and complaining about it in this panel. Just like back in Whole Cake Island when they cut not Napoleon, Zeus, while Big Mom was writing him, and that like hurt Zeus.
Maybe. I just think it's such a weird thing. It's the reason I still can't agree with it though because he's still saying bu 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 bu. And like
Yeah, but
after
he's not
he gets cut here, he goes back to being completely normal. Whereas after getting hit by Jinbei in this panel, he still looks like distraught and like separated. You still see holes inside of him and everything.
Yeah,
like-
he's still cut in half in this panel.
No, he's forming back together, and then in the panel, and then the next time we see him, he's literally completely full again. You see him.
Yeah, I
partially
get
from the
that, but
top
that's
forming back
like
together.
it's like he's fire, but like he's also like trying to form back together after I don't know, like it
Yeah,
just
didn't the
feels like
same
it's
thing
just
happen
easier to
to
say
Napoleon?
like he got a little bit hurt.
I don't really
It's
see
the-
the point. I don't see the point of these panels existing if it's not like actually like
Exactly.
hurting.
Yeah.
You know?
Then what's the point of the? Okay, so
Well,
let's-
like it would be something similar to like the first thing that Adam showed. If what I wanted to show like, oh, he was like unaffected by this, then
I just
he
don't
would
think
just
he'd go
show
with the
that.
same gag again.
It's
but
not
yeah,
a gag. He just
So here you see him forming back together, and then ha, son. So then the next panel in the actual recent chapter, he's forming together. He's angry. He's mad that he got split. But then the next time we see him, he's literally completely fine again. Whereas like,
Yeah, he wouldn't be angry if it didn't actually hurt him. Just like he wasn't
Would he
angry
not
when
be?
Luffy pummeled him there. It's literally the same situation.
hmm,
Just in one, he was pummeled, and there are holes through him for it, and he doesn't care at all because it didn't hurt. but in this one,
I'm
he's
gonna wait for
clearly
something more
distraught.
definitive. I'm gonna wait for something a little more definitive in that regard.
I guess it's like what Archer said. I don't see why he would be screaming and saying "yow" and all that stuff.
He screamed "ba ba 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 ba" when he got hit by Luffy,
Well, that felt more
and
like.
he's literally
mean,
making
okay.
a pained face when getting hit by Luffy.
I
But
mean,
he's
I
not
don't
actually
think
hurt.
Al
I
was
don't see
damaged.
pain in that expression.
He's
Like-
literally like his eyes are squeezed shut.
He says R whatever.
Yeah.
But like I don't think the Yao part is him being in pain. He's literally just like reforming. But the part before, I do think it sort of hurt him, but like
Not much.
I don't know.
It's
Not
like,
much.
It might
Say
it might
I'm
just
gonna
be
say it, like, hurt
might
him, but
just
it's
be
not like.
negligible.
I mean, that fire is not going anywhere. You know.
Yeah, he
So-
just puts himself back together. But it's like it's an attack, you know? Like
It's not the same as like Jinbei dousing the flames. you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though.
Feels like he feels the slash, but it's not like
So
it's not
what
like it's like getting smaller or anything.
what I was getting at is that before we were equating it to Jinbei hitting him, where he was genuinely taking like lasting damage from Jinbei attacking him, from that perspective, from the old perspective of that Whole Cake Island chapter, and then people were applying that to being the same thing with Foxfire, Flame Rend, this time. Like if someone were to use it on him, people were saying that it would be the same way, where it'd cause lasting damage, but it just split him and then he reformed.
well, yeah,
I just want to throw this out there, but the fan translation has it saying "ow, ow, ow, ow."
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
goes
but
right in
the
line
thing
with
is,
the
the thing
owl,
is,
though.
it's an owl. It's like the. I'm sure if we were to
Like
dig,
he's
if we were to
clearly
dig further,
distraught.
it was like an owl. Like yow
what-
is not different enough from ow to
about-
like
what about-
distinguish it as like a
what about-
surprise
What
instead of
about
like an
ba,
ouch.
ba, 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 ba? Are you just gonna forget that he did the exact same thing, made a damaged noise, expressing that he's getting
and
hurt?
then is
and then he's
just
fine.
smiling and is fine. And
The
this
only-
one, he
the difference here is that
because he was cut.
Well,
The difference
so
here
the
is that it's a
thing is-
cutting fire technique, right? Like it's different. It's not
yeah,
yeah,
and it's
touching.
literally made to cut fire.
It's a split fire to split it.
Yeah,
cut
I mean,
fire.
clearly you don't
separate
need
it.
to be
To
able
separate
to
fire.
hurt
To
fire.
cut-
to
like
do
it's
that.
not. It's like literally.
That's the point I'm making.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
not-
you don't need to be able to hurt fire to split fire. That's what I'm saying.
It's a super special sword move that cuts
I-
fire.
I just
So,
yeah,
but
it's-
another reasoning I have is that like there's no reason for them to literally just redo this dialogue. Like they already explained hockey won't hurt, yada yada, in that one chapter. They're not just gonna redo that exposition in this chapter, especially because Oda's like squeezing stuff into chapters, and those panels are so small.
Yeah, which is why he brought in the move that can cut fire to fight the thing that's literally just compressed fire.
Yeah, because it allowed him to prevent the attack from going through. But it didn't. From my perspective, it didn't damage him. I don't know. I need to see literal like. I need to see him put some fucking
Yeah.
bandage on his face or express like verbally that it
Yeah.
damaged him.
I
For
think
me
we
to
just, I think we
believe
kind of
that.
squeezed all the juice out of this lemon.
Yeah,
I don't know,
I think
man.
we're gonna repeat ourselves. But yeah, last time we had this conversation, it was the same thing where I was like the only one against that claim, and everyone else agreed with it. So yeah, it's not going to be any different here.
Well, anyway,
I like Zora stealing it.
yeah. Zoro
Luffy
Yeah.
almost lost
stole
the
his
fight
technique.
right there.
And then him
Way
yelling at
cooler and
fucking
just, like,
Luffy.
learning it.
God, why is my room so fucking hot?
These are two Emperors of the Sea. So Law, like, if Law didn't blink him out of there, I bet Kaido would have killed him right there.
You would have what a wind shot.
Just right there. Into the
Also
series.
reinforcing how fast Kaido is. They can like
Fuck,
almost
dude.
instantly take Luffy by surprise again.
It's so exciting, man, because like the idea that that's like a legitimate thing. Like we've this is like the first page of the battle, really, and it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
or this chapter is the first part of the battle. I really am so fucking excited to see how this goes because it's the idea like would Luffy have just been taken out if
Yeah.
he
No.
didn't get ported, or would he be like stand back up but be like obviously very hurt?
Well,
I don't
think what
know.
would-
Like, what is the gap? Like, it's really
Well,
interesting to think about.
He noticed the attack before it actually hit him. He says "huh" and stares at him. So I think similarly to how he reacted to to what the fuck was it called? The
Thunder
previous attack?
Bagua.
Yeah, Thunder Bagua. Similarly to that, where he'd like react last second and basically reduce the damage
But-
that he would have
No,
taken.
but
I
he
think that would
didn't
have
react
happened here.
last second. He was using future sight and everything, so he literally did not react last second to that.
Well, no,
This
he
was- I
saw
think
it,
this
but he
was
reacted
last
last second to it still.
I think
Yeah,
this
he only
was
had
last
the last second to react.
To react, yeah. So he noticed this before it actually hits him. I think similarly he would have like reduced the damage by like rolling off of it or something similar.
You could also interpret it as him actually being caught off guard here.
You could. I mean,
yeah.
I think he is caught off guard, but he noticed it before actually getting blindsided, where it would give him enough time to actually react.
Yeah, could be.
Slightly.
could be, yeah.
That's my. I think he still would have gotten like severely damaged, but I don't think he would have gotten fucking one shot like completely caught off guard, 100%.
Hopefully
Funny
not.
that.
You think we're probably going to see him like take a full run one of these strikes?
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
He's
And
gonna have
A
to.
couple of them.
He's gonna
He's
have
only
to.
gonna
Yeah.
take like 4 or 5, I'm sure. But yeah,
I don't
he's
know,
gonna-
dude. I don't know. You never know.
And like
Hey, man,
that'll be the big contention for like the fucking.
Yeah,
fans.
people
Like,
are gonna
Kaido
go.
was stronger. He only took 5.
Yeah, if he
5.
takes a bunch of these hits, people are gonna fucking lose their shit, dude.
Yeah.
They're gonna
I
be
think it
so
takes
mad.
one.
Counting on Katakuri, I'm sure they're gonna count on this one.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he takes. one
I
head
think he'd
on.
be able to take like the
strike.
current hit. Oh, sorry. Were you? Hear you.
Good.
You can go.
Honestly, I'm just saying that I think he might take like just one hit from the mace head on.
Well. So Thunder Bagua, from my perspective, seems to be a different attack than what he's using right now.
Yeah.
Whereas Thunder Bagua is probably an enhanced version of like just a regular mace attack. So I think Luffy can take like a regular
Well,
mace,
this attack is using 2 hands, so
but it's
Yeah,
I
not
was gonna
lightning,
say.
man.
You know.
Yeah, Jerry said in the chat, the punches or like the hits that you don't see coming do the most damage. I was like, yeah, it's true, man.
That's true. That was literally the whole like him beating Odin.
Yeah, that and even like in Curry when he did the Thunder Bagua like that just wiped him. You know, I feel like it probably, you know, going based off this, if he were able to kind of react to it whatsoever, or like get out of the way, if it wasn't too fast, he probably could have stood back up at that time too, because it's not like his durability is like gone so crazily up, from here to now. It's more just his like offensive capabilities gone up. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Although I do wonder, he like, you know how they use it as a shield and stuff.
It could have done that, although, you know, it hasn't been said, right? I would assume that like it would kind of be talked about, but obviously we're literally on the first chapter of the fight. So if that's,
they
that's
they
gonna be
talked about it
something,
like when they put their hands out, you know, and like it reflect attacks and everything.
yeah, it's
Stuff
true.
like that. I
Yeah.
think it has been talked about, and I think maybe we'll see it being applied a different way.
Yeah,
Eventually.
I think during this fight, like that, we'll probably get that. If it's a thing, you know what I mean? Like we'll probably have that like said out loud, you know?
Yeah, I agree. If it is a thing. But yeah, I liked this moment with Law where he's just being a fucking tsundere.
Dude, I love the relation between Law, Kid, and Luffy. It's just so fucking funny, man. Cause Law and Kid, both of them, like Luffy is like the resident idiot, but they still go along with everything that he does, and like they're affected by him. Like
Well,
Law's
the
like
funny
so
thing
mature. He's like, oh, you know, I was not following your orders. He's like, oh, what fucking difference does it make, dude?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is for this, I think the only reason he's like arguing about this right now is because he doesn't want to look bad in front of Kid. So
Yeah,
it's-
exactly,
it's
dude.
Like if Kid were here, he probably wouldn't be like, "Oh, I wasn't following your orders" or anything stupid like that. But since Kid is here, he is like his peer to impress.
Yeah, he doesn't like. He's never really liked the idea of like being Luffy's subordinate or anything. Like even back in Dressrosa, you had Luffy like, you know, try to claim him that one time. Oh, he's my crewmate.
He doesn't like the idea of being beneath anyone, really.
I
Like,
lo-
Law
I-
got-
He's his own man. He's his own captain. you
It's
know?
just so
Yeah, he
fucking
is a
funny,
cap.
man. He says it out loud, like he's like all pissed off with Luffy, and
Yeah,
then on
and
the
then
next page,
immediately
and then Kid just fucking jumps on that shit. He's like, oh, is that right? You're his henchman, and then he's like extra pissed.
Yeah. the fan
So
translation
good.
like had it the opposite, where it's like, oh, so you aren't his henchman or something like that. It's like, nah, kid realized he was, because he is.
Right.
Yeah,
how it is.
true, dude.
I
True.
got heavily bonbons.
There's no skin off my back.
No skin off my back, which of you two losers? Then we get heavenly bonbons, and we
Yeah.
get this fucking great game of chicken. Like
I think
they
this
just
was
nobody.
possible way.
They all reacted the same exact time.
Clearly, the fire is the closest to Law's face, so Law is the winner.
Yeah, Luffy might have had an advantage because he's rubbery, can kind of get out of the way a little bit more, contort his
Man.
face possibly
Yeah,
a little
he
bit
has-
more.
He has 4 chins,
all
whereas the
rubber
rest
there.
have 3. Yeah, you're right.
I think this was the best possible way to bring back the double chin face gag.
I
Yeah,
agree.
this was very creative.
I love Zoro being fed up with it too.
Mm.
Yeah,
What
this
are
is
you
just
trying to accomplish?
it's so great, man. I feel like most of us. Maybe not. How can I say this? Like when you would imagine the battle between the emperors and like Luffy and everyone, you wouldn't picture something like this. But I mean, it is Oda, right? So like when you think about
was
it a bit,
inevitable.
of course it would happen, right? But it's just funny to see it even like in practice, like we're in the middle of the battle between two fucking Yonko, and it's
was
still shit like this. Yeah, it's just great, dude.
I like that they're
Right.
all wearing like long flowing coats too. Just like they're all like Captain Lee and shit.
All
Oh, man.
Captain Lee.
Captain Lee.
So then they end up getting hit. Then like the next panel, it explodes behind them, so they take damage to the fucking attack because they're so retarded. And then Zoro yells at them, yada yada, and then Kaido showing off his interest in fighting strong foes or whatever. In the next panel, where he tells Lenlin to step down so he can test them out more.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I like that.
I like the line in the fan translation. She called it "playing with your food." I thought that was a clever way to put it.
Yeah,
Close to
right.
Yeah.
Especially because she's a cannibal.
Oh,
Okay, dude. You didn't have to go there, but
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
but yeah, so I like their little bickering between the two of them. Cool.
yeah, it's the same. It's the same. It's funny because it's like the same thing on both sides. Like
Yeah.
they're bickering, and then like Kaido and Big Mom are like, she has like the little sighing cloud, or like the
Yeah.
like the I guess can't be helped, something
Yeah.
like that. And then, after that, we have Zoro and Killer basically saying exactly what the fandom has been fucking parroting for like the last 50 chapters.
Yeah. But dude, fucking the amount of people that said like, no, he chose those scythes. He liked those scythes more than his old weapons and shit like that. Was baffling. It's like, no, dude. Clearly he's using
They
something to
took
fit
his
the
weapon.
theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always
But,
thought they were like similar enough that it didn't really make a difference.
Well,
until
they're
now.
not spinning though. They're scythes, but they're not like
Yeah,
they're
just
so
both,
different.
they're both sickle-based weapons. So
Yeah.
I always assumed that was like, it didn't affect them much.
Well,
But, I
your
mean, it's
thoughts
fine.
were disproven.
Yep. I was wrong. I was wrong.
No, but it's
No, I
funny.
mean
Then
it's not.
Zoro
It's
responds
not.
back, like,
It's not disproven. I mean, Killer's just making up excuses. It's just as
Alright,
Zoro said, the outcome would have been the same. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
You're
Zoro
right.
would have lost again. You're right.
Yeah, the outcome would have been the same.
Zoro
right?
only
Killer's
had
defeated.
2 swords.
Also
True.
confirmation.
He had no. He
for
got it.
Zoro.
He got his third. Amazo never got his back.
So,
Yeah.
The outcome would have
Yeah.
been the
And
same.
of course,
Jokes aside,
the attack does not work.
It is hilarious.
naturally.
It's so hilarious though, like when it happens like with Zoro and Sanji, and then like other things, like when they say shit that like the fandom has been fucking saying forever. They say it out loud. It's the funniest thing to me, man.
Yeah. It's definitely.
It's just.
And then we
just
see
funny.
them attack Kaido, and doesn't hurt him, but he
we
says,
gotta
"Well
go with
done."
the end of the line first.
I think.
Huh?
I meant to say this, but you actually see a little bit of blood coming off of Kaido.
I couldn't tell if that was blood or just like the usual like
Yeah,
impact marks.
yeah, it looks
You
like
see-
a little bit of
You
blood.
see
That
like a
looks like
couple of drop.
Fucking kanji. That looks like some fucking like the
Yeah.
throb kanji or whatever. I don't think that's blood.
No, you see, no. Here, I'll show
We
you.
also
I'll show you.
see
On to his upper right shoulder.
Yeah, his upper right shoulder, and then like near his hand that's holding the club. You see like a couple of drops.
Oh,
we
But I
also
don't
see
think
where Killer tried to behead Kaido, and it's
you know,
it's like a little
I
mark.
see what you mean, but I
is-
think
yeah.
that might just be a bit of hair.
It's either I think it's either hair or impact marks. 'Cause we usually see those on like
I don't
like
think it's
regular
either of those. I think it's a little bit of blood. It's not like a big hit, but I think it's a little bit of
Zoro,
blood. I mean,
yeah.
look at it.
It has a little bit of
They're
blood.
drops. They're drops.
Because like we see
If
his
they were
throat
shaped
and
like-
there's-
To hype up Zoro, that's all it is.
Yeah.
I
Well, I mean, in any case, Killer literally tries to fucking behead Kaido, and it doesn't
Yeah,
work.
it doesn't
And
work.
same,
But he
whatever
took the
Zoro
mark.
did obviously didn't work either. He's just like, well done. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I
he
think
might have
they both
had a
tried
little bit
to
of blood
take
come out.
Kaido's head.
Say that again, Bean.
I think they both tried to cut his head off there.
Yeah, they probably because if you look at the like ring around Kaido, it looks like it'd be
Yeah,
around where his
it's
neck
right
is,
at
and
his
that's
throat, yeah.
presumably Zoro's attack.
Yeah.
The ring is so presumably he didn't cut him.
But also they zoom in on that, like the neck, the throat cut,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then to Zoro. So
I think they both just had the same
I
idea.
think that
'Cause I
was
think
just a little
didn't
bit,
Kaido
but that
say
makes more
something about
sense.
like taking? Or didn't Zoro say something about taking like Kaido's head or some shit? Or am I remembering wrong?
You
Uh,
might,
that
might be
was
thinking of the
that's
scabbards.
always been his thing.
I don't
The
think
Scabbard.
Zoro's
Scabbards always talking about taking his head. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zoro
yeah,
yelled
right.
about killing or like
Right,
defeating
yeah.
Kaido before, but he didn't say anything about head then. Okay.
Something he might have said it. I don't know. Maybe.
But
yeah, the end line.
That's how I took it though too, Bean. When it shows his neck, I thought like that little. There seems to be like a little bit of an imprint there.
hmm
And I actually took that to be like the mark that was left on his neck. Potentially.
Yeah, that's what it
Mm.
is. I just,
But it's not
I-
like
just Killers
cutting.
at first. But that makes more
No,
sense.
it's not a cut there. Maybe there's a little bit of a cut somewhere else. I don't know.
well when Zoro does that attack, doesn't it hit the same spot for in all three parts? Onigiri.
Does it?
I think he swings all in that one spot.
Yeah, it probably usually is like that. Well, I don't know. Anyway,
But yeah,
Yes.
probably not
yes,
some.
it is,
Probably
because
not
that's
something
how,
Oda's thinking too much about. To be honest with you.
No, it is because that's how Mihawk stopped his blades
Mhm.
back when they fought. It
He
was all
blocked him
just
I
all in
mean-
the middle.
I mean, with like this.
Actually, when he dabs on what's that? The fucking circus guy and Buggy's crew, he gets 3 different slashes. At least. Oh,
Yeah, but
just
they're
kidding.
they all separate from that one center area. In a way.
Yeah.
So it's like one large slash, but it's all
Yeah.
at one spot. Yeah.
So they both seem to have gone for his head, not damage him, presumably.
Yeah.
Unless you want to interpret those blood dots, but I don't know where those be coming from.
Well, I don't know why they're there. That's the thing. It's like,
Well-
what is that?
Oda
think it
draws like
is, like,
black
the fur
pieces
on
falling
him,
off a lot.
Because they did like go straight past him still attacking. And the rest of his fucking hair and fur isn't indestructible too.
Well, here's another example. Here, wait.
So you
where
just
can I
think
find
you think it's like his coat then?
Yeah, because like there's not a single fucking mark on his neck except like the little press in. Like
Yeah.
that is one solid piece of skin still. So
If they
I
showed a
don't
cut,
know.
then yeah.
Man, fucking Kaido just trying to die out here on purpose.
Yeah, for
If,
real.
if Zoro and Killer did have the ability, he'd be possibly dead right now.
Yeah, dude,
So-
he's a monster. The fact that he just literally takes a blow to the neck like that, just head on.
Yeah, dude. Blades.
But
break-
also he would know that they can't hurt him, I feel.
yeah, I think he did get slightly caught off guard, maybe. Potentially.
I think the idea that he said "well done," you know,
implies he got caught off guard.
maybe
right?
not like caught off guard, but yeah, I know what you mean there. Like, you know, he's like,
Not caught off
He's like,
guard,
"Oh,
but
shit,
that he
yeah," he's
wanted
like,
to
"Okay,
see,
you guys are
and he
capable too."
appreciates it.
yeah, like you're capable.
Yeah.
Not capable
he
enough, but
acknowledges
you're
them,
pretty
yeah.
good. And
He
it's the
acknowledges
same
that
thing
skill.
at the end of the chapter.
He's
You know,
like,
we know he's like, he's like, yeah, it's a fucking shame that you guys need to die because you're all fucking very capable.
Mhm.
So
Well, before we move on, then, so this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, which basically confirms he's not using like the same stuff that the scabbards are. The scabbards are likely using something more similar to what Luffy's using, whereas Zoro hasn't learned that, right?
Or his technique just hasn't, gotten there yet.
But which is the most likely at this point, right?
Of what?
What would
Of
you-
what? Sorry.
Of either he's using the same stuff that the scabbards are, but
I'm
his
sure
his
he's using the same thing. I think it's just like a sliding scale kind of thing.
Well,
He
no,
hasn't-
without Enma,
I mean, even with Enma.
Yeah, I'm saying without Enma though.
Well, I still think
Do you
it's the
think
same.
Enma is forcing it? Okay.
No, I don't think it's forcing it. I think he already had the technique.
Well,
I think
he
if it was the same
says
thing, he would slightly cut and then, but it wouldn't be deep, like similar to how the scabbards had it. Because
Well,
Zoro's
just think-
Yeah,
very
he says I have to unleash Enma a bit more, which
Yeah.
implies that like there's more that he can do with it, and that's like on him rather than the sword. Even though like we know, yeah, the sword is bringing shit out, but he's saying here that it's like it's something else a little bit.
What's happening is that he's preventing Enma from using too much because of what happened with when he first tested it out, where it like used too much and it shriveled his arm up and everything. So he's been holding back in that regard. So it's still on the sword. It's just up to his discretion as to how much he wants to allow the sword to force out of him in a way, right?
Yeah, that I guess
Yeah,
that
the
that's
sword
makes
is
that's
what
a
is
better way of
making
putting
the
it. Yeah.
hockey
better.
emit. Yeah.
So
So
I
he
think
would
it's
be struggling to bring in like a good level of the second form of it, which would be the one that Odin had used.
oh,
But Luffy would have the higher still.
well, without Enma, I think Zoro is just using regular typical armament hockey. And I think that is very apparent. After this.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
saying like through Enma, it's forcing his hockey like out
Yeah,
and projecting it for him though.
I could see that. Yeah.
I don't really. I feel like he already has the technique, but he's using Enma to like.
He's
output
even
more.
surprised early in the chapter at Luffy using something like that.
Well, Luffy
that was
doesn't.
able to-
What Luffy does isn't what the Scabbards did either.
Well, no, that's what your interpretation of it was, but it
No,
is.
no,
But
that's what it is. That's
they're
the truth.
applying it to their blade instead.
No. What the Scabbards do is the first form of it, and that's something that pretty much anyone in Wano can use, or a lot of the samurai can use. There's a sliding scale to it.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're gonna have this combo again, aren't we?
but
For
the one that
what?
Luffy uses, it's a higher. What Luffy uses is a higher form, and it's not something that even Hyogoro could use, and it's this internal damage kind of thing. But yeah, it's the way
I think that explanation was extremely vague, and a lot of people
I
are
don't think it was
interpreting it
vague. I mean,
differently
it
than I
was
think
it
Oda
was
might have
straight up
implied.
said that there was like a different technique that Luffy was using, and it's not like what the samurai of Wano use. I don't know. I don't. Yeah,
We're
it's
gonna
not-
I'll
we're
go back
gonna
and look
need
at it at some
more.
point.
We're gonna need more
Yeah.
context. It's tough.
I think
it's
it
tough
was
to
very
say.
vague. I think it was extremely vague in its explanation, where maybe what you're saying is right, but I think at the same time it could very well be the exact same thing, just applied differently. Like because one's to the blade and one's to their fist.
As for Zoro, I feel like he already has the technique, but it's like Enma's. He has to use Enma to put more power into it to the point that he can actually use it like Scabbers, and then later Odin actually deal a serious cut to him.
Yeah, that's
I don't think he has it, but
the
I think
the thing
think it's-
is, yeah, he might. It's possible he doesn't have it now. I think the only thing I'm sure of is that he's going to use that during this fight at some point, like fully.
yeah, I think because Zoro's good at like learning on the fly, right? Like
Yeah.
when he learned how to cut steel and whatnot. I think it's a possibility that through observing Luffy in a way, he might learn how to use it himself during
I
the
mean,
fight.
your
but I don't
hockey
think he knows
blooms
how to
during
yet.
battle. That's just like
Exactly.
natural. That's been like pounded into our heads, and it happens. So it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So I think Zoro doesn't have it yet, but I think he will by the end of the fight. Is my perspective on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think
Yeah.
Killer and Kid potentially as well. I don't know.
So how it's been a kind of contentious, but how far do you think he's going to go with it? He'll go higher than the Scabbards? Do you think he'll replicate Odin's
I
feat?
think he'll go not higher than the Scabbards, but Enma will push it higher than the Scabbards. if that
Well,
makes sense.
isn't that the same
So
thing?
higher than the scabbards then.
Well, no, because if he were to use regular blades, he wouldn't be higher than the scabbards. But the
Well,
blade
the way
itself forces it out of him.
Isn't Enma like just him acclimating himself to the sword to where he can like increase his own abilities?
No,
I mean,
the sword like forces power out of him.
It's not like it's a magic
Yeah,
sword.
but it's only
It is
it's
a
only
magic
it's
sword.
only his own
Yeah.
latent ability though.
Yeah, it's his ability. It's the
It's
sword.
his-
It's
that
just
pushes
gonna
him out.
it's just gonna push you beyond like what's healthy, if that makes
'Cause,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, it's his hockey, but he can't like if he were to use a regular sword after using Enma, he wouldn't be able to do the same amount with it.
I mean, I think he would. I think after he's mastered Enma, it's just going to be like it's his, you know,
What's the point of
Well,
him having
I
Enma?
feel like the point
because
of it
Enma isn't
is
like
the control.
that's how he gets to
hockey.
that level.
Like it forces him to have to control the hockey to the point where being able to control how much comes out of Enma dictates that he can control his hockey just that much better. So like he uses a regular sword and suddenly he can make it just as strong as Enma because that's how well he can hone his hockey now.
I don't know if it would be
Exactly.
just as strong.
I mean, the
as
way
Enma, though.
I mean, you got to look at it this way. Like his whole thing is he wants to be the world's strongest swordsman. If it's like if he's only strong because he has like a really good sword, then like does that
I
mean
mean, you
anything?
can say the same
That
thing about
was
Mihawk.
And it's the same thing
yeah,
with it's
yeah,
the
you
same thing
could,
that
and Mihawk says the same thing.
that's what I was gonna say. Mihawk talks about being able to make any blade like a
Well,
black blade.
that's
right?
not what
Well,
I'm,
yeah,
I mean, I'm
exactly.
talking about having like I'm talking about if Enma is like
it's a figure.
if he can't do the same, if he can't like replicate these feats with say a sword of a similar grade, like if he can only like if it's the sword that's making him like this, I mean, is that if you can you really say it's him, you know? Can you
Yeah,
like
you can because
I mean, I don't think
it's still no
can.
because you can't use this blade without already having some sort of like uh endurance or like what's the word for it? Like it
Discipline and
doesn't
control.
yeah,
It's just
discipline
all
and
about
control.
control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's still it requires him to discipline himself in order to
Yeah.
use the blade, but the blade
I don't
itself
see it
is
that way.
still the one that's dragging it out.
Well,
It's just that if
that's the
someone
thing.
else were to use it, it wouldn't be as effective.
I think the idea with Enma is that when he is forced to discipline like how much hockey he's putting out, then what it just acts as a tool to train his hockey. And then
Yeah, I agree.
the further and further and further that goes, you know, we talk about Enma being made a black blade. We talk about that. Is the sword going to continue to act like that? I don't know. But basically, what
Well,
I'm saying is like at a certain point, it's going to be entirely him and not the sword because he's
Yeah,
trained
exactly.
himself. It has trained his hockey for him to be
Yeah,
able
fact.
to.
That's even what he says.
I agree. I do agree.
says,
Okay, so
you
the
know-
point I'm making here is that I do agree that it is training his hockey and that it is making him more proficient at his other blades as well, but that is also improving his use of Enma at the same time. Eventually, that difference between the blades will probably be negligible, or he'll turn one of his other blades into like an actual black blade, like the like legend about the black blades, not like just the hockey version. And that will even out that difference as well. That's another possibility.
So
But
we
I
all
think
agree,
as it stands
or-
at the end of this arc, in specifically this end of this arc, Enma will be the reason why he is able to cut harder than the scabbards, in my opinion.
well,
Yeah, at the end of this
It'll still
arc,
be
then
them.
yeah. I think Archer and
eventually
I think Archer and I are talking long term, as in like how this sword's gonna function for him.
I mean, I
yeah,
think
end of
he's gonna-
series, I think it'll be
that
negligible.
here and now, but I mean, I don't know.
You think it'll
Yeah,
be here
as in
now?
like if you were to pick up a sword after this arc that wasn't Enma, he could still pull off the same
Yeah,
things
that's
as he
exactly
could with
how
it.
I see it.
I
yeah.
don't agree, but that's
Like that is
all
the
speculation.
ultimate goal of swordsmanship for him. That he
After this
can't
arc,
make
no,
any
but I
blade
think
that way.
eventually in the series it's a possibility. But after this arc, I'm gonna disagree.
Yeah, well, I mean, in general, that is the ultimate goal, though. Like he's gonna get to that point. Enma's just
It's even like he said, like
kind of
said,
training
once
wheels
I
for
master
him.
the sword, I'll be that much stronger. Like he doesn't like say, "Oh, with this sword, I'll be that much stronger." You know?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's a tool
Well,
for his
mastering
own
it
training.
allows him to use it, but yeah, it's a tool for him. He wouldn't be wanting better. You can make that argument for any of the better swords he's gotten throughout the series.
I mean,
I don't
Enma is
think
kind of
that's a
special in that it specifically does draw out that latent power of his own. You know,
yeah,
like
it
Shoes-
is. But that's what I
you know.
that's why I mentioned like
I mean, you
him-
are right though. Like him just using Shusui made him a lot stronger too.
But the
because
blade
it
itself
actually did the exact same
is still
thing.
better than the other blade he was using. Like, when he was using the
Yeah,
random
and
blades, it wasn't.
it yeah, exactly, and it did the exact same thing. It drew out more power on its own than he
Yes, yes,
actually
yes.
wanted to put in.
But my point is that Enma is still a better blade as it stands than these blades.
Yeah, I don't think anyone disagreed with that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it sounds like Archer is.
I mean, I kind of just disagree. I feel like we are all agreeing, but I thought the idea that you were saying was that it's like, by the end, it's still not going to be Zoro. It's just a sword, you know.
See,
I
okay, I
thought
think our perspective on this is a lot different, though, in that it's a good sword allows a swordman to be better.
yeah, a
Like
good
the
sword
top
makes it better
swordsmen
and all,
have
but
like
I
I
kind of
don't think if Mihawk and Zoro fought end of series and Zoro had his current blades and Mihawk had any random blade, I think Mihawk would be nerfed still. I think Mihawk would have been nerfed if he were had his black blade taken away from him and he had to fight Zoro with something else. In that perspective, that's how I'm framing
sure,
it.
sure. I mean, that's what I really take issue with is just the idea that it's not Zoro, it's the sword, you know. Like
It's
in a sense,
both.
in the sense that he's only becoming so powerful now because he has a good sword. I don't really
Could
see it
you
that
can
way.
make that argument for Luffy with a devil fruit, but I don't
No, no,
think
no,
that's
no, no,
true.
no. I feel like you're still misunderstanding. Like it's not that, you know, of course, you know, having more quality blades is going to make him, you know, more a better swordsman. It's more like the idea. The part I take issue with is the idea that um, with Enma, once he's made these leaps and he's actually, you know, acclimated himself to the sword, and he's actually able to draw out all this power within himself. That he's suddenly, like, if he loses Enma and uses, say, a different blade, that all that's just gone. Like
I
I
think
can't.
he would have made strides after having used Enma, but I think if he had Enma taken away, he would take a significant dip in strength,
I mean,
even
Mm,
after this.
what
For now,
Archer,
yes.
you mean further on, right?
No, because
Right.
he said he said
yeah,
after
whatever.
Zoro.
Well,
Whatever. But
what he's saying, right, is after Zoro's made the progress that he can with Enma,
I know what you're
once he's gotten to that peak of it, then when he picks up another sword, he would be able to accomplish the same thing.
But his
Once
with
he's
his
mastered
so
Well,
Enma,
so
once
yeah.
that
here's
power is gone yet. That power is still there.
yeah,
You
I
know, it's
think
his. It's not
that's how
sword.
I feel too. You know?
so here's
Yeah.
the issue I take with that is that, and I feel like I've said it already. Maybe we're going in circles, but um, I feel like if he were to improve his own use of hockey, that would also allow Enma to draw out even more if he wanted to go overboard. Like
Mm, I
if he wanted to overexert himself, he could use Enma to allow himself to do that in the same way that he did like earlier when he cut the mountain cliff, you know?
Yeah,
That
that's a
is true.
possibility.
I imagine there's a cap with Enma. I think that it's not gonna function that way forever, where it's like sucking out his hockey like that. I don't think that's gonna be how Enma is forever.
yeah.
That would be cool if it was
That
true,
would
but I
make it an
don't see that right
Yeah,
infinitely
now.
scaling
obviously
sword,
that's
and
speculation, right? But if Enma
In
acts
the
that way for the rest of the series, then basically it's just gonna be him relying on Enma to
well,
constantly
no.
have the same kind of, quote power up where he is
So
like he's constantly every battle, what would be the solution to fighting an opponent that's stronger than him? Oh, you
so
force Enma to push everything out of you again and again and again. And I think that's
I know,
boring. I don't think Oda do that, right?
but I think you misremembered what I said earlier. I think that he will even out that difference eventually with his blades by turning them into like legitimate black blades, like it was explained earlier in this arc. How like
I feel like
the more enemies you cut down, your black blade your blade will
like
eventually
it's
turn
like
into.
coincide. I don't know if they're like strictly related in that sense. Like once he masters Enma, it necessarily becomes a black blade. I don't know.
I don't think it would, because Enma.
I think they're gonna
Well,
coincide definitely.
I think that is what it's gonna end up being like mostly, right? Like that's what Hitetsu said. It's gonna end up being that kind of a
He hasn't
situation.
had Enma for as long though, and he's had the other blades for much
Well,
longer.
I think he's.
Well,
I
I
think
think
it's
that maybe it'll
he's
even
gonna
out with
accomplish
Enma
more
not reaching
significant.
that state, but the other two do.
I think he's. I think it's just gonna like accomplish a more significant feat with Enma to the point that it allows it to become a black blade first above Wado and Sunday.
Really? You think it's gonna be first? I think he did. I think
I mean, it's
Watto
been
was
used
the-
by Odin for like many
Well,
years, so it just
Watto
depends on
just
like how
has-
that works, how
Well, it
the
also
actual
hasn't-
process works.
It also
Watto
hasn't been
has
used for
the-
20 years.
Watto has the significance, that I feel like it'd be really weird if it was the first one to be made black, just because, like,
I feel like
Yeah,
it's
that's an
is why I feel like
that's an
it would.
interesting way to put it, right? Like having Watto be kind of the last one that you find, because that is like his most treasured sword, right?
exactly. It would just be really weird to me. Like, and
But
also
that's
Enma,
also-
That's an interesting stance. Yeah.
Enma specifically has been set up to go black. And I think
Has
it will in
it?
this arc too. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Because
I mean, Hitetsu said it out loud.
yeah.
It's the only
Yeah.
one of his swords. Like he flat out said, yeah, if you work this shit right, then you can make it into a black blade. Yeah.
Yep. And
I
I
think he
think
was talking about swords in general. I don't think he was talking about.
He
Enma's
talks
I'll go a little
specifically
further.
about Enma. Yeah,
So,
I can
I'll
get
go
the
a little
panel if you
further.
want.
I think
could
Enma's gonna go black in this battle.
Really?
Yep.
It could, yeah.
It could.
See,
That
my
was the big thought that it would go black here, but
I mean,
I
I
feel like
do
that's
think
too
one of his
soon,
waves will definitely
personally.
go black to replace
Yeah, I agree.
G-Suite, so
so like with
Enma
Yeah,
has
that's a
Enma,
good point,
that's
Adam.
the one he got
That's-
with,
that's a
with
good
Watto, I feel like it'd be more impactful if the one that he has like the most emotional attachment to would be the one that would be the first to make it. That's why I thought it would be
I
Watto.
just feel like I think that impact should be safe for later. I feel like all three of his swords are gonna go black.
Wouldn't that kind of like diminish the impact if
Well,
it was the last
it
one
just depends, right?
Yeah,
Right, Red. Like if they're, we're still like totally in the dark about like how that even works. But like if there were to be some kind of struggle that he's introduced to later on, where it's like he can't seem to make Watto into a black blade, even though he's
That could
already
be
done it
cool.
with Enma. Like you can work it that way. There's different avenues that could be
Yeah.
taken with that.
I'm just
right?
worried about the redundancy making it feel
I don't think it'd be
more
redundant
flat
because
compared to-
every individual sword could like have its own experience related to it.
Right,
Because
and just it can be done. It can be done right.
these aren't just tools, These are he has attachments to these things.
Yeah, it's like memorabilia, right? Yeah, like it's. Yeah.
Like,
if
if
Oda
anything,
does it right,
I'm like,
I'll be fine with it. I just think there's a good possibility that the redundancy kind of just the fact that two others had already been turned into it would make it
Oh,
feel less impactful when Watto.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that.
It's like one
because
thing is the
Sandai,
new
he
thing.
has he has a much bigger attachment to Sandai and to Watto. That's like, Enma, he just kind of like just got this thing, and it's more of an avenue for him to become stronger.
So
Yeah, that's why-
Enma's like the tool. He
Mhm.
figures out Enma, and then from there it becomes
Yeah.
under
And then
this
meanwhile,
idea.
yeah.
After he figures out like the base one, it's like, oh yeah, well now
Mhm.
I can go to my more important swords.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
And meanwhile, he has these very personal, very specific relationships with Sandai and Watto. He's had them for a long time. They have their own little personality quirks in a way.
That's why like the explanation for how swords turn black, right? I feel like that plays into that though. The fact
Yeah,
that
of
he's
course
had
it
for a
does,
long
yeah.
time and have been using. For
Well,
so
we don't
long.
really have an
Personally.
explanation for how it
He's had
happened.
him.
look
He's had him.
vague,
He's had him for a long time, but there's depending on what it takes to make it a black blade, like that may just not have ever been possible for him to do until he gets to a certain point in his swordsmanship or like hockey or whatever, right?
Maybe.
Like
Right.
it could be, we have no fucking idea, right? So it just depends on what that is. Then we go on from there. Yeah.
And it could be tied to like just specific feats as well.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
achieve a certain level, you achieve a certain feat rather than like an RPG experience boost kind of thing.
yeah, we really don't know, and it's tough. Like, yeah, this is one of those things. There's a lot of stuff that goes unexplained, and I can, we can just kind of brush it off, like where it's like, well, it's shown or whatever fucking you want to say, right? It's like, yeah, it's the One Piece world, but this is one of those things I really want kind of like a concrete idea of how
Yeah.
that works, because there's just like a lot of, I just hope that gets more attention.
I think Oda likes to show more than tell though. So I think we'll get
even
the
if it's
explanation
explained
afterwards.
to us, like
yeah.
dialogue, we're gonna see it happen firsthand. So I think
Yeah.
that'll suffice.
We'll get
Yeah,
it.
and then we'll get like more of an explanation afterwards potentially. Like kind of like how with Kobe getting hockey, for example. Like we saw him during
Right.
the war, like freaking out and whatnot. We were confused as to what that was exactly.
Yeah,
And then
and
afterwards,
that was even like, you know, throughout, like from Sabaody and Impelled Down, like that whole
Yeah.
the whole hockey thing was like all teased and teased and teased, and then it was finally like laid out to us concretely. So that'll happen at some point. It just you know, whenever that does, I just hope.
I think it'll
it's-
be similar to with Kobe though, where we see it happen firsthand, like
Oh
someone
yeah,
lost,
yeah,
and then
for sure.
it talks about it afterwards.
That's
Yeah.
classic. I mean, it's the same here. It's like, you know, you know, it's like with Zoro has learned Kinemon's technique. It's like, well, we didn't ever see Kinemon teach him. We didn't ever see Zoro anything besides him commenting on it in Punk Hazard, right? And it's like, well, then now it's come out. It's like, yeah, well, we're gonna see it before we figure out ever how, if we do. At least with that example, it's like we don't have to hear about how specifically he figured out how to cut fire or whatever. It's like, but yeah, as an example, that's how Oda does shit. You know, he shows first and explains later, just how he does it. And then
Yeah.
people say it. Then people say it's you know, hack writing, and then he didn't explain it before. Oh, blah, blah.
But
Well, he
Anyway,
did
yeah.
but I-
express
I-
interest like multiple times too. It's not like it was just a once throwaway thing.
yeah, before we move on from this, I'll say I think my opinion on how Enma works and like Wado Ichimonji being like the first Black Blade, I think those are gonna remain. But I think I have room to be convinced otherwise by Oda himself, and we'll probably touch the topic again eventually.
Yeah, no
in,
worry.
in like future chapters whenever this type of stuff actually comes to be.
I'll eventually reveal to you that I'm actually Oda, so you know, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, clearly you are.
Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, we've been stuck on that same thing.
Punk Rotten, Gear Forth, and Room. And I feel like Law's not that impactful in this fight so far.
I mean, I don't.
Like it was.
Law saved Luffy's life, so I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's pretty impactful.
Well, he's impactful.
helped
I mean, what everybody's looking forward to, at least combat wise, is we're looking for Kid, right? Because we've seen Law's abilities, we've seen Luffy's,
Mhm.
and now we're looking to see what Kid's able to do, and then we get to see that on the next page, right? He makes this big fucking
And I'm
mech.
loving it so much. This
even-
fucking disjointed
Dude,
skeleton man.
He's fucking what's his name? Papillodus from Maple Story.
Oh yeah, I remember you posted that image. You know,
Yeah, it's fucking. I mean, you
he
can't
looks.
really show
You know,
it, yeah.
the image. When I saw this first, it made me think of a Digimon, dude. Actually,
Really.
Same.
I think
Yeah.
like there's like that one clock. What's his name? It's like clock. I don't know what the fuck he's called, but yeah, that's what it made me think of. Anyway,
Oh,
it looks cool.
I'm really glad we're getting more than just giant robot arms now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, now we have two
Yeah.
giant robot arms and giant robot body. Dude, that's sick.
I was also wondering like where all that fucking metal he was dragging up went, and this sort of answers that question.
Yeah.
I
Wonder
feel
if
like this
more- is there more
multiple
behind it?
levels of
Is it-
metal.
Yeah, there is
Yeah,
some more.
probably.
Yeah.
Well, he
Yeah.
hyper condensed it and turned it into the iron within his own body. So
I want to see a railgun from Kid.
Yeah, that'd be really sick. Like a finishing move kind of thing.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's got he's got
Ooh.
like what seem to be cannons like in some parts of his hands there. Like he needs
I
to,
gotta bring
he needs
this
to
up
start
now.
shooting
Yeah, I'm
shit.
sure he has one.
I got to bring this up because someone actually said this in chat, and I thought it was a really funny idea. But we know that one of Kid's hobbies is listening to music, and someone had the idea that the skull on his mech is actually supposed to be like a reference to Soul King, like he's a fan of Soul King.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think that'd be a really funny idea.
That
would be
would be
great.
funny.
Soul
Yeah.
King fan.
He's like a Soul King's biggest fan, and like yeah, that would be funny. Yeah.
I would love
And that's how he finally allies with the Straw Hats. Joins the
Yeah.
Grand Fleet.
And, this was something I had talked about a little bit, but yeah, I just really like kind of like the contrast, like the juxtaposition of the three of them on the left of this double spread.
Mhm.
You know, Kid's like he's like talking about how he's gonna do it. You know, we've got tough skin, but can it do this? And Law's like, oh, I'll go straight inside the body. Oh yeah, they're all talking. Luffy's just he's the same as always, man. No talk, no bullshit. He's just fucking about to punch the shit out of Kaido. I love that, man. I just love that. It speaks. It's loud. It's loud. It's yeah.
I really like Kid's tenacity too. That he doesn't really have like a big trick, like Luffy does. Like he doesn't have. He can't go inside and do surgery shit like Law, but like he's just like, oh, I can just crush you to death.
Yeah, it's great. It's
And
great.
the funny
Yeah.
thing is, he's had this already. Like this is
Mhm.
round 2 for him, and he's still going in without a second thought. Like, yeah, I'm about to whoop this dude's
Yeah,
ass.
he's really similar to Luffy,
Yeah,
in that.
Luffy's
Like,
also
two of
Having
them, man.
gained
Yeah.
nothing from the last time.
and I also like that they all have different solutions as well. Like, people were speculating on whether like Kid had this same technique that Luffy has. Like, otherwise, like how is it going to damage him? But it's like Kid, he's gonna like try and compact and crush him to death, and Law's gonna do some, he's gonna do surgery.
I still don't think the compaction even hurt him. So
Yeah, I don't either.
I
Yeah,
feel like
no,
Kid's
it
gonna
did.
be able to do some stuff too. I think he's gonna surprise.
I mean,
us.
I think he might. I think he was gonna do something. I don't know what it is, but I don't think.
I don't
It's
think
a-
he's
I don't think it's
done
a
anything
compaction.
yet. I don't think Law's attack hurt him either.
Well,
Law.
it's
But
getting
yeah,
more-
Law, I mean, Law just tacked him with fucking spiky rocks. Like
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
That was weird.
Well, that's what he's
Yeah.
doing now. I mean, this is just this is
Well, he's like,
is
I'm-
preliminary shit.
Kid's like, I'm gonna compact you, and then tries to compact him, and then Law's like, oh, I'm gonna do a surgical death, and just throws rocks at him instead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get that.
Point is,
We'll-
I think
we'll warm up around.
Kid's attack is also preliminary, so I don't think his hurt him.
Well, it's the
either.
thing. It's the thing with Adam, like Kid and Luffy. They're the type that they just say what they're thinking and then they do it. Law is like maybe Law is like talking about it, but like he's a bit more tactical, right? So he's gonna do his attack, but like the idea, he's not gonna like show all of his hand right now.
Mhm.
Right. I don't think Kid's showing all of his hand right now either. Luffy mostly is, but the two of them, like they've got more tricks up their sleeves, and Luffy might too.
Yeah.
Luffy might have more.
They're
Than...
dabbling with some.
Clearly, he's
straw
gonna have
baggy.
something.
Yeah.
Probably has.
It's-
I wouldn't be surprised if he thought up a
gonna
new
be out,
year
but-
4 form while he was in prison.
So
Could be.
I really love the fucking atmosphere in this chapter, and it's something I've seen no one talk about. But this panel of Big Mom just laughing, the close-up of like the rubble where Kaido is, and her laughter starts, and it goes into like her flying over them and just fucking lightning booming in the background, and fuck, it's so good. I love, like, I can't wait to see this animated because you can already tell that there's gonna be some
Oh, yeah.
epic fucking
Dude,
shit on it.
What's cool is
This-
that
I-
like Kaido's covered in rubble and like he just shoots straight up. Everyone's like waiting for what happens after the rubble like clears, and he just like
Yeah.
dragon form straight out upwards. It's like
Yeah,
I like
I love this next page, right? Luffy just fucking punches him right in the gut, and then immediately after, Kid just squishes him between his fists, and then he's like, oh, and then Law fucking covers him in rocks, dude. And then Big Mom is just laughing and laughing, and then they're both laughing after that, right?
Yeah.
They're both laughing, and I mean, I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about on this page, but then the next panel is like fucking amazing, dude. The big shit. It's exactly what everybody's been waiting to see. The two of them together, yeah. They did some big fucking hits, and Kaido and Big Mom are just laughing and ready to go, dude. Fucking crazy.
and seeing Kid's robot from the back is cool because like you see everything's like separated and whatnot. Like even like the legs are like on the floor. It's still
Yeah.
not attached to the actual body. It's cool.
Oh,
I
it's so fucking cool, man. Fucking hell.
yeah.
Yeah, this
Bit
is just
sold out.
such a good time to be a fan. It really is. Like, this is the type of shit that I've been, everybody's been like imagining for like years and years and years and years and years.
We might finally get to see Zoro open his eye and unveil his special technique. Yeah.
Zoro
I
might
mean, there's
actually go all out for once.
there's no better
Well,
time than now,
if
dude.
he doesn't use Ashra, then fans are gonna say, "Oh, Zoro still never went all out." So,
Yeah, that's true, dude. You never went all out, Zoro.
Hey fans.
Oh man.
This page is really cool. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, this is exactly. I mean, it's just the fucking showdown of ever. This is the biggest showdown that we've ever had. Yeah. So.
It's the showdown of ever. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the showdown of ever.
We never had an arc boss like this, where it's like, you know,
Not even close, dude.
Yeah. It's
Would you guys
Dude,
call
even-
this bigger than Marineford? yet?
Yes, even Marineford was not as big because like Luffy.
it's
Well,
not like a
Luffy.
fight there.
Luffy was working with an emperor against the Marines. And obviously, like, Luffy
Yeah.
was never able to actually fight them, so he didn't really have an opponent there. With this, it's like, this is it, dude. It's you and your buddies, and, like, if you fuck it up, there's no, like, running away. That you're just, it's over.
I think it's big in its own way, but I feel like still Marineford is on a much like bigger scale.
It's on a-
the end of it.
It's on a bigger
was
scale in terms of, like,
big.
the world and everything, but in terms of, like the enemy that he's facing, it's bigger.
and like how much of a war it feels like. I feel like this feels like more of a war than Marineford did, in my opinion. Because Marineford was like quick. It was 20, 25 chapters ish.
Marineford was quick, but there were just more people, more big names.
Yeah, but like this build-up feels a lot
not
more
ever
like
gonna get any-
very-
This build up is it's bigger because like it's not like it's not a rescue mission, it's none of that. I mean, what this is literally they have to take both of them down or get rid of them somehow. Otherwise, that's it for everybody there.
Yep.
It's done. There's no fucking running away. You failed, you're dead, or somehow you it's over, right? Like there's no going back. This is the actual big boy fight. You have to get it done here or else the series over. So
Yeah. It definitely feels like the beginning of the end.
yeah, this is like big boy fucking. We've been waiting for the conflict with the Yonko for fucking very long time, dude. And this is like the first one. Like the whole cake was huge and stuff, but it wasn't like
Whole Cake
we
wasn't,
have to
like,
stay here
purely
and fight.
after that,
We
yeah.
don't have to stay here and
To fight.
fight. That's what this is, man. So that's why it's so
Yeah.
fucking huge.
And also like Marineford was like the build-up from like Amazon Lily, sure, but like this is the build-up from the New World. Like as soon as the New World started, this build-up started for like this moment,
I'd say
basically.
Marineford had a bit more, bit more build than that. It's-
Did it?
Not more build up than Wano, but like more than Amazon Lily.
Marineford build-up
No, I'm
started
saying
in Enies
The
Lobby.
whole Ace. It was the whole like over.
Yeah, the Ace versus Blackbeard thing.
It started
the whole
in like
thing-
fucking.
We didn't know
Jaya.
we didn't know the context. We didn't know the context of what happened there
Yeah, but it's all
until
there,
Amazon Lily.
it's
which is
all
why I'm-
there. Like it really is a
Technically-
big serious climax, and I don't
Whereas,
think this is quite there yet.
Sure,
I mean,
but like
it's
for
definitely-
this, like Big Mom and Luffy had like a direct confrontation
Mhm.
in Fishman Island. That's
sure,
what, like
sure.
400 chapters ago, 500. It's been a while. Like
Yeah.
400
Yeah,
chapters.
it was about like chapter like 540, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we've been at this build up for a long time, and I feel like the comparison with Marineford, it's a much shorter time span that build up happened in.
I don't know, man. I mean, you have to look at it retroactively, but I
Mhm.
still think the buildup is there. It just wasn't as apparent, reading weekly, right?
This isn't even like the serious climax for the second half either. Is what's crazy.
Yeah.
This is actually still build up in a way.
Yeah, I know. We haven't even. They're fighting, but it's like this is literally just the first fucking chapter
Well,
of it.
what I mean is that for example, what's it called? Oh, I'm mind blanking. So like when we met Vivi, right, and learned about Crocodile, that would be like the Fishman Island to this moment. You know what I mean? And then like Crocodile finally got beaten. Like this is the climax of that buildup. This is like the climax of the first main like giant arc in a way. Because like
yeah,
Topeko was like a mini
yeah,
boss. He was like a sub
absolutely.
boss, right? He wasn't like the big boss that we'd been looking to take down. He was just a sub boss in a way. On
Yeah,
the
of course,
way
we
to-
didn't even
Yeah,
get
I mean,
Kaido.
That's
at-
just-
at
Like,
minimum, at minimum, it's Punk Hazard, right? When they say we're gonna take down Kaido, that's the minimum. That's like the bare minimum.
even then, Big Mom is here right now, and Big Mom was mentioned all the way back in.
Yeah,
Fishman.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
no.
saying, like if you want to, like that's
Yeah.
So
Then-
obviously,
Yeah,
yeah, it's been built
it's
up
small.
for a long time.
It's a big deal. But
Yeah.
It is, dude. I've been reading since this whole fucking time. Like I seriously, man, I've been caught up since like just before the time skip. Like not reading weekly all the fucking time, but I've been like waiting for this shit for a fucking decade, and I'm finally here, dude. It's fucking awesome. I don't know about you guys, but it's like,
I caught up a little after
Dude,
that.
I started reading weekly at Innie's Lobby, and I've just
Yes,
been
man.
waiting for so long for this.
I've been reading off and on. I didn't actually,
I've not
read
been
weekly the whole time.
like weekly forever. I mean, I caught up like long like before that too, but it's like, I would catch up and then like go back and then like catch up, and I've just been following the series for so fucking long, dude, and we're finally at this point where it's like, man, the end is actually in sight. Like, we're actually fighting the fucking emperors. Like, yeah, I mean, look at all the way back in Enies Lobby, we talked about the emperors so long ago, dude. We're finally fucking here.
Yeah, it's legendary.
It's crazy, man. Like, I've been telling all my friends who have like not read in a little bit, like, this is the time to be caught up, man, because you want to be fucking experiencing this as it comes out.
And then he messaged me like really yesterday, and he's like, "Yo, I've been watching One Piece." And I'm like, "You reading it though?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm catching up. I was way behind on the anime, and then afterwards I'll read." So like he's gonna read me eventually, but I've been
That's
trying
what's
to
up, though. I mean, the anime's been good. So,
Sure.
I know Red just thinks everything about the anime is fucking shit.
No, I actually like the episode before the recent one. So
Yeah,
that helped.
Oh yeah, but Wano's been pretty good. Wano's been pretty good, dude. I've had a great.
It's an okay arc. Yeah, it's an okay.
If you don't have an issue with, if you can like look past pacing, I can see how.
Yeah, no, I don't mind the pacing because I feel the pacing is like just it's just supplementary for me. It's like, yeah, well, it's more content. I've already read it personally, so it's like for me, it's just more content, dude. I really don't, and
Yeah.
Sometimes it's bad pacing when it's like they're just kind of dragging, but if they're just adding extra shit, then it's like, yeah, fuck it, dude. I'm down for it. I'm just
like somewhat purist in that regard, where I hate interpretations being like different, so it just bothers me. But yeah, I'm glad that most people can enjoy. But I think before we end this, because we just reached the final page, right? I wanna talk about that line at the end, because we only talked about the art really.
Yeah.
So I think you mentioned something about this before, Fats, where like
I did.
it's
I know what you're
cool
gonna
that they
say. I think.
Yeah, they both have something to gain out of this. in a way.
Yeah, it's not. It's like and early in the chapter too, Kaido like he's internally respecting Luffy. Before this, it's just kind of been like brats and like all that, and he does still call them brats and stuff like. But it's also like, yeah, Luffy has like a lot to offer if he's defeated by Kaido. Like they've gotten poneglyphs that Kaido failed to. They failed to get the shit at Zou. And on top of that, Robin is in his crew. It's like, yeah, Luffy is a legitimate, like, it's like an equal give and take, right? Like whoever wins, it legitimately is. Like Kaido's been sitting at the top of the pirate world for fucking decades, and yeah, dude.
And it's not just Luffy. All of them have like underlings that are like
yeah, they all have something big to offer, right? So it's like this is not just like quashing some underlings for Kaido. It's like this is a legitimate, like, yeah, we probably should be fucking taking these guys out, not just because they've disrespected us. It's because they have legitimate shit to offer for us.
And I'd be really surprised if Kid didn't have a poneglyph. I'd be very
He
surprised.
might have.
You think
he
so?
might have Big Mom.
I wouldn't be
True.
surprised just because, like, how would he have come to figure it out?
The only one he could
How would-
reasonably
how
have.
would
is,
Big Mom and Kaido, but they still have poneglyphs.
well,
Well,
they're
Big
cooler than
Mom
I
could've
mean, he can have a
just-
regular ass poneglyph, like
Yeah, I'm not
road
saying a
one.
road poneglyph. I'm just any
Oh,
poneglyph.
well, I guess.
Oh, well, I meant like road poneglyphs specifically.
No, that's probably Captain John's treasure, bro. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, we don't know what Kid took from Big Mom, whatever that is. I
Yeah.
feel like that might even it'll
Hope that
it'll
comes
be
up.
mentioned by the end of this arc, I think. Whatever it is. It'll either maybe it's something that'll take place in this battle, or it'll be once they've finished, Kid talks about like, oh yeah, well I got this thing, or it's
I
like,
assume it was her all of her poneglyphs, everything but the one that Jinbei had brought her.
could be, but man, dude,
Oh,
you know,
I
Kid-
definitely did
Kid-
not think that.
Well, it can't be
I
because Kid went there before Luffy did.
Yeah,
Well, he
it's hard to
Yeah,
imagine
man.
it being the poneglyph, the at least the load poneglyph, because you
Yeah.
know, Kid
It-
is it doesn't feel to me like that he would be able to get that far just
No.
having only defeated Snack and then having been defeated by Cracker.
Well, it can't.
You
It
know,
can't
it
be
could,
Big
it could be
Mom's Road
something more
Poneglyph.
mundane
Wait,
too. It could be like
Big
he's
Big
like
Mom's Road Poneglyph was still there when Brooks stole it, so it
Oh
can't be.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. He
Well,
didn't
he
he
couldn't
didn't
take
he didn't
it.
take
No,
it, but
I'm
like
not
yeah, I'm
saying-
saying like
yeah,
rubbings.
I'm saying
rubbings.
rubbings.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, that's
You
what
know,
you
it
meant.
could be something
Rubbings.
more mundane
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Not the actual
Hey,
thing.
like,
Yeah.
he just raided your territory or like stole some ships or it could be something boring like that.
Yeah, just like
I think
Luffy
it-
doesn't actually
could
have
be,
a
yeah.
poneglyph, but they still say, you've got some poneglyphs too.
Well, they have Zoes technically.
Yeah.
You could make that argument. But yeah, but I think that if Kid took something, it'd be something more like physical, rather than just like he knows what our poneglyphs say. I think it'd be more like he took something from us.
It feels like that to me too. I don't know. Yo, but somebody asked, do we have any like predictions for next chapter?
Yeah, I was gonna get to that too.
I think we're probably going back down below to focus on the Tubby fights.
I agree.
I agree with
I
that
feel
as
the
well.
same way. Yeah, I feel the same
I
way.
hope not, but
I
you're
hope so.
probably right.
I actually kind of want.
Either way is fine. I'm happy to see more of this. I'm also very happy to see Jinbei or Frankie continue their fights too, or
See, the
Sanji.
thing about
Any
this-
of them.
See, the thing about the end of this chapter is that it feels like complete. It's not like it doesn't feel like as cliffhangery as usual to me. This feels like conclusive to like the beginning of the battle in a way, and then we can move on elsewhere and like see the beginning of those battles properly take shape.
Oh,
what I mean?
You know
Yeah,
what? This
yeah,
could
it does
even
feel
be
that way.
like, people keep saying we need the end of an act pretty soon. This could be the end of Act 3.
They usually have the curtains closed.
I've given up, dude.
Oh,
You know how
true,
how long I was saying each chapter was going to be the end of Act 3? I've given up on it, dude.
yeah.
I was
This
saying it
one-
like
Well,
every
Act 3 is
fucking
the longest
week,
act, right?
dude.
This is the
I have a
first
hard
one
time
I've seen where I
Act
could
3.
have seen that being the end, though.
I'm more in line with Archer, not in that there's only going to be 3 acts, but that Act 3 is going to encompass the majority of the combat, and then Act 4 will be wrap up, and then Act 5 will be extremely short. That's what I think. is
think
gonna happen.
see,
Act
like-
4 is gonna include the climax.
I
but
could
the-
even see like a post art kind of being separate from the whole like
Act, the act,
structure.
yeah, could be.
Like Act 3 ends when they beat Kaido and let the dawn arrives, and then we get a whole cool little ending for that. Curtains
here's-
close, and we come back and do the whole post arc stuff after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. But like, so here's my thing. So this chapter felt like conclusive in a way. To this fight, it felt like this is like the proper beginning. Like they everyone's in their final forms, right? Everyone's like ready. Fucking Big Mom has what's his name? Napoleon on fire, and she's riding Zeus. Kaido's in his dragon form. Everyone's in their like final forms. Zoro has his headband on. This is like the proper like start to the battle, right? And then we move on, and then I think we're gonna get
Yeah, we
bunch
definitely
of
cut away.
other starts. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a bunch of the other starts to the battles to a similar degree as this,
Mm.
to where everything feels like conclusive in a way as like the proper start, and then after that we'll get the end of Act 3. I think maybe.
Maybe.
Since I agree with Bean that this feels like the end of Act 3 potentially
Dude,
for this part of the fight.
forget
for
it,
this
man. I'm telling you, man, there are like 20 chapters out of the last like 30 or 40 that I felt like we could have fucking ended
I don't
Act
agree.
3.
Only
I don't
one
agree.
where it felt like it.
Dude,
Yeah, I
the
agree with
way
you.
Oda just ends his chapters, it just feels like it's
So-
like conclusive. Like it feels like that a lot of time. Like it's cliffhanger, yes. Like this one, I know you said it feels like very conclusive as the beginning. And yeah, and I agree also that this is probably more so than earlier chapters. But I've felt that way so many fucking chapters in a row that it's
So-
like, bro,
I
I'm done guessing. I think Act
I
3 is gonna
agree
be all
to
the
an
action.
But I don't agree to the same for the same reasons you do. I have felt that the next like at the end of every chapter, I felt like next chapter could be the end of the act. I've never felt like this chapter could have been the end of the act until now. I feel like this could be the end of the act for this specific fight of this arc, and then we see the other end like starts of the fight.
Yeah, That's what I meant. I meant like, you know, when a chapter ends, I'm like, man, next chapter that could easily end the act. Yeah.
But this time, I feel like this chapter could have been, and the only reason it isn't is because the other fights that were set up aren't properly set up yet.
It
If
could
that
be
makes
that. It could be. It very well could be that.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
could be wrong too.
I've always been a little kind of weird on the act ending mid battle. It's like, you know, we kind of had like good stopping points for the other two act ends, and it just
This
It's
is
also I agree with that, but it also would be just like Oda to take a fucking pause, like
Yeah.
right in the middle, like just like
Only
right before it really
after
kicks
a
off. You
break.
know what I mean? Right before
Yeah,
it really kicks off, not just randomly.
after break, right? Like when we get these act ends, it's only like we cut away to like Reverie stuff or something for like a chapter, maybe two. I think the most we've gotten is two, right?
It's like one
And
and a
then-
half. Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5 because it went back like halfway through the chapter.
Yeah.
That's he already does that in arcs anyways. He cuts
Yeah.
away from like major fights anyways already, so it's not like unlike him to do that, you know.
yeah, though it's like structurally, there like would have to be like some kind of big change, you know, like they just have like a whole like just have this happen and then like, you know, just cut away to a new act just altogether and so on.
This moment feels like it would fit because it's literally like they're
It's
finally
big.
facing each other at their
Really
best
big,
in a way.
Yeah.
but
It'd
Yeah.
work. It would work. I felt before that there were moments that would work too. I can't think of the specific ones, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
The reason like Luffy punching Kaido didn't feel that way to me because I was thinking like I want to see everyone's reaction to Kaido getting hit first, and then because that doesn't feel conclusive, I want to see what people think about him hitting Kaido
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
in that way.
That,
But
was
this
the one that
isn't
stuck
like
out to me.
this isn't after someone getting hit or something like that.
Yeah, this is like just before shit kicks off. I get you. Yeah.
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 On the topic of like predictions for next chapter, I feel like we are gonna go back to the Flying Six fights. Like definitely gonna start with Jinbei, because obviously no one cares about everyone else.
Jinbei,
Yeah,
huh?
true. Don't give a fuck.
I
Jinbei.
think before we actually cut to any of like the ones that are already established, I think we're gonna see where people like Nami, Usopp, I think
Yeah,
we're gonna
was-
finish up what happens with like Chopper going on.
I was
like-
gonna bring that up. You know, kind of
I forgot about
touch
that.
touch back on things like the scabbards being put down, the state of the virus. The other thing is maybe it's a little early, but like Tama's plan,
Mhm.
maybe you start moving towards that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
those things need to be touched on too.
I feel like Thomas' plan is for the siblings, but
For what?
Yeah.
Sorry.
for
For-
Ulti and Page One
Yeah,
siblings,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
for that.
yeah, I think that's going to be the first fight to actually get
I
wrapped
I
up.
sure hope it's not. I'm going with Tama, Nami, and Usopp are going to save Sanji, and then Robin and Brooke can handle the siblings. That's what I would prefer.
Dude,
but we'll
if-
see.
That would be
If
cool.
I don't know if they can handle that. No, but they have to though. They have to handle it.
Robin
So
and Brooke probably could.
yeah.
I mean, if Frankie's gonna handle fucking Sasaki, then they can handle
Mhm.
Ulti and Page One, and then Tama can be useful versus Black Maria because Black Maria's little minions are all there, and then Usopp and Nami together,
Usopp and Nami together, what?
and then they can handle Black Maria.
More than
So
that, I
interesting.
think it would be. I think it could also be cool if Chopper and Usopp handled the siblings or something, just to give that dynamic, or not the dynamic, the parallel to
Chopper's
like
fight Jack.
Alabasta.
Well, Usopp is one of the people I'm really looking forward to of the Straw Hats because he is already bloody and he's already fucked the fuck up and basically he's and on top of that he's already had this moment where he was just ready to give up. And whatever comes next for Usopp is going to be a really good moment for him, I think.
I think it'd just be really satisfying if they manage to like turn things around and beat Ulti and Page One. after that.
Yeah, it'd be maybe that, maybe something else, you know.
Well, I don't think Black Maria is fighting Sanji, so I think someone is going to have to divert their attention
He's
over there.
definitely not fighting her at least.
What'd you say?
He's definitely not fighting her, at least.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
someone has to handle Queen, unless you think Marco himself is going to handle Queen and King the entire time.
Well, I think it
I
could
mean,
be.
why not?
I think a cool 2v2 could go on there, like what I suggested with before.
I want to see
if
Sanji
we're
and
being
Drake team
real,
up
like,
against Queen.
really, why not?
Well, Drake is dealing with Mr. Apu himself, so he got a little bit on
Yeah,
his plate.
Pooh's not going anywhere.
We
Pooh's not
also
going
we also don't know what Hawkins is up to in terms of
Jack.
people who can. Jack.
The rest of
anywhere. Yeah,
Lost
Jack's incognito right now.
So
Yeah.
that's how
Oh yeah.
Crew.
That's how I think like this act, assuming it does end, is going to end. We're gonna see who they're gonna go up against, and then like at the end, it'll show like a flash at like everyone's location or something, and it'll show like a glimpse of like what Hawkins is doing in the background or something. Like, but we can't exactly tell what he's doing, but it seems like mischievous or something like that, and like shit like along those lines where we get like an idea of where everyone stands currently. Because Hawkins is still a problem that we don't know about. Jack is. Queen.
I really think Hawkins might flop. I think he might.
Bro, he
I mean,
already
Hawkins already
flopped.
flopped for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
If Hawkins is not already on the Straw Hat side, then Law is the dumbest person in the entire series, and that's all I have to say.
Okay.
We also got to establish some kind of like objectives for the characters that don't have fights, like Yamato. Since busting Momo out's kind of a bust. So
Wait, who? You cut out when you said the name.
Yamato.
Yamato,
Yamato.
Hyogoro. He's got. We have a lot of.
Well, Hyogoro. I think Hyogoro is just there for support. I don't think he's gonna do anything crazy.
Well,
Well, he
he's
actually
gonna.
wanted to go take out one of the Flying Six.
I think
He
Hyogoro is
wanted
gonna
to.
take
He
out.
wanted to direct. He wanted
What's
to
the,
direct
who's
his
the
people.
leader? Who's the leader of Orochi's samurai corps?
Fuku.
Oh,
What's his name?
No, that's not Samurai. Samurai is just that guy with the shades or whatever. I don't know
Yeah,
what his
that
name.
dude. Yeah, that dude. I think Hyo's gonna take him out.
And Bean, one more thing. He didn't say he wanted to take one out. He actually said he probably wouldn't be able to, but he would want to stall them for the Straw Hats, if I recall correctly.
I feel like that already
he wanted
failed.
to fight one. I mean to say.
He wanted to keep their
He meant
attention.
Ulti
yeah,
and Page
he
One,
did
didn't
want to go fight one at least.
he? Didn't
He
he
wanted
mean
to-
Ulti
yeah,
and
the-
Page One because
the
they were
entirety of
actually in the hall, and then that actually failed because the samurai weren't strong enough. So
Yeah.
Usopp and Nami led them away.
So it happened anyways. So
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
they
he's-
actually were like crashing through Samurai last time we saw them, huh?
yeah. Because he
Mhm.
wasn't saying that he wanted to fight them. He was saying he wanted the samurai to direct their attention towards them.
Yeah.
No, he did say he wanted like specifically to go and try to fight one.
He wasn't that him providing orders to the samurai though. I'm pretty sure that was.
Like he and everyone
I
else.
feel like that's already.
is what
I
I would
really
say.
feel like that's like run its course.
Yeah, I think it has as well. Pretty sure it has. Could be wrong. Who knows? Oda does a lot of unpredictable shit.
But yeah, Hyogoro versus Mima Waragumi guy. I forgot his name. Hotei, that was his name.
Baba Booey.
Hyogoro versus Hotei. Calling it.
Could happen. Could happen.
I don't think Hyogoro's
Maybe.
fighting anyone personally.
Otei's probably gonna swap. I feel like all the samurai are gonna end up going against Kaido just because, like at the end of the day, they're samurai from Wano, you know.
Maybe.
There's too many subordinates, man. There's too many people under Kaido. They have to. You have to line it up. Like there has to be.
I mean, Chopper's gonna cure a bunch of them, and a lot of them will probably change sides.
I feel like
Yeah.
I
That
feel like
could
a
be
lot
true,
of them just
yeah.
kind of like give up once the officers and Kaido are beaten. They don't have to like beat all of them. They just have to beat the king, you know.
Yeah, no, that's true, and that's the same way Kaido's thinking and King.
And
They've been talking about that. Not the-
Adam, you suggested earlier. Oh, I thought you were done. My bad.
I was gonna say not like the King, but like Momo. They're talking about Momo.
Yeah,
Yeah. So not
like
like
taking
Luffy,
out Kaido as well.
Yeah.
But Adam, you talked about this earlier. You mentioned like Brooke and Robin or whatever taking on. Yeah, so I want Chopper to do something, man. I just want Chopper to. get-
Chopper's busy making a cure, man. I don't know what you want.
No, I
I'm
want
gonna
something.
say this-
I
I'm
want
gonna say
something
this
more.
one time. Don't laugh at me. Chopper versus Jack.
Is it what?
Chopper versus Jack.
Mm.
I'm hurt.
I mean, Chopper with a few
I'm
other
in
people,
pain. I'm
maybe.
in pain. Maybe like Chopper, Brooke, and Robin.
It's like he fights Jack, and he comes out with Wano with like the 4th highest bounty in the crew.
maybe Brooke freezes Jack permanently, and
I
like,
mean,
the fucking
Jack
mammoth
is
jet.
also like almost dead right now too.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with him healing really
That's
fast, he might be still like weak enough that
You get some good character
a
development for
few
Chopper too, with
people
him
get
actually
taken
taking
out.
out one
Dude,
of the big
if
boys.
Chopper takes on
Awesome.
Jack and like Frankie's taking on Sasaki instead, like I don't know, man, that
That'd
doesn't
be
hit right.
awesome,
Dude,
man.
you
Chopper
guys,
needs it.
we need to fucking get something sorted out here. Is that the fucking calamities, the all stars? There for some of the Toby Ropo, there's not that big of a gap, or there's no gap.
I'm the
Okay,
one that's been saying that a lot. I agree,
I
but
know
that
that's what I'm
just doesn't
saying.
feel
Like
right.
between
Doesn't feel
Jack
right.
and Sasuke,
Yeah,
or
that's
between
why
Jack and
they
Who's
get
Who,
traded, yeah.
those guys are
but
like
Jack-
those guys are like at the same level, in my opinion.
I think some of them could potentially be there. I agree, but the reason it doesn't hit right for me is because Chopper has been portrayed as like the third weakling duo or a trio,
Yeah.
you know, like along with Usopp and Nami. I think it'd
He's
be
not
very
that
weird
weak.
if
I
he were
kind
the
of
one.
feel like we haven't
No,
seen
just his
enough.
portrayal. Just like he's
Monster
also
Point.
one of the three that freaks out and screams and
Yeah,
runs away.
well, that's fair. I mean, you can still have a fight though. I mean, Monster Point is strong, man.
I said I wanted him to have a fight. I'm just saying against Jack. I don't
Yeah, we
think even
Against
so
against
cool.
a weakened Jack, like a very weakened Jack after he got fucking
Legit
pummeled.
is
Chopper
almost
taking out
dead.
one
It
of
would feel
Kaido's
pretty
like top
unsatisfying.
subordinates.
I just want to say I don't think he's gonna fight Jack, but
No,
I mean,
I don't either.
I
I just think
just-
it'd be cool.
it wouldn't be like totally out of the ordinary.
It's
you know?
not that outrageous.
I don't
yeah.
know. He can fight like some fucking number that ate a smile or something.
That's what I want. I want Chopper to take on the fucking numbers, dude.
You gotta throw Chopper a bone here. Like,
Well, I thought-
you can't just have him like work on medicine stuff the whole fight.
At first, I wanted Frankie to take the numbers on, but he's fighting Sasaki, so I think Monster Point Chopper needs to fucking take on some of those other numbers that we still haven't seen.
Numbers, I kind of feel like they're gonna rampage around in the Flower Capital when we get there.
Oh, you think
Because
so?
we had Apu talking about how they laid waste to like countless towns and villages. So
I mean, Wait, what do you mean? Just dropping the island on the capital will destroy the capital anyway. So
yeah, but I mean, I feel like the fight's gonna end in the capital anyway. So we're gonna have like
So you think Kaido's gonna succeed with destroying the entire capital? Is that what you're saying?
Well, he's gonna drop it on the mountain, right?
No, Kaido explicitly said, and I think Big Mom, like they were talking about how many people will die if this lands in the capital.
Yeah, some people will die, but I don't think they're gonna drop the capital, the island on the capital. They'll like
They said they would though.
I
They
mean,
said
they
they
would,
said
I think
they'd
they would
drop
they
the
would
island
do,
where the
but they're
castle
not
is.
going to. You know, that's gonna be like the whole birdcage thing at the end. You know.
Oh, you mean you think someone's gonna stop them from doing
Yeah,
it?
yeah, they're gonna get stopped.
think
of
they
course.
succeed.
Okay,
in
that's a different thing.
Like I think the whole like final like stage of the battles, I think is just gonna be the island hovering over the Flower Capital and things getting wrapped up there.
Yeah, but then how would the numbers rampage in the flower capital? Then that's what I'm saying.
They're gonna leave the island and go rampage in the Flower Capital.
So they're just
Oh.
they're just gonna fucking fall off the
Yeah,
floating
it's
island.
jump, you know, like it's like get some big parachute.
Hey.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it that much. I just think it'd be cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously Fujitora is gonna come by and just catch the island
Oh,
as it's
no.
falling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, me and Archer were talking about like what would happen. Like, let's say they defeat Kaido, then the whole island is just gonna fucking fall.
Yeah.
And, like almost everyone on it is just gonna fucking die. So
They're
like,
gonna
how are we gonna stop that?
They're gonna have to find a solution to stop it because I mean,
Hey, I liked your solution, which was a Momo fucking
Yeah.
starts making it
I mean-
float with the clouds. I like that
Momo
one.
would be cool. Momo can make the clouds, so it's not.
That
not
is, I like the idea of that actually. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
depends how it's
I'm on board with that.
You
Fuck it.
That way, Momo's actually useful somehow. That's not like people were like, "Oh, Bonnie's gonna come to Wano, age Momonosuke to be 25 years old, so that he can slash Kaido."
That's what
Oh,
you were
no
fucking
way.
saying. Your own ass was fucking talking about
No,
that.
I didn't-
And I'm
I
talking
didn't-
about Momo.
no, no,
Momo cuts Kaido. I remember.
I
Not
didn't
the
say-
aging. Not the
like
aging.
Bonnie. I didn't say Bonnie would. I just said Momo could possibly slash him and could be
Yeah.
useful.
No,
Now I
you
like-
said you
I like
wanted
it
to do that. You didn't say he could possibly. You said that's what you wanted to happen.
Well, I found.
Well,
I
we
found a
already
better
went
way.
over. We already went
Yeah,
over.
we
all
had
that.
that argument.
We already
Yeah,
went
yeah.
over.
So
all that,
obviously,
yeah.
what's gonna happen is Momonosuke is gonna use his clouds. Marco's gonna use his flames. The minks are all gonna fly under there in like Sulong and help hold
Oh
up the island.
yeah, I like that one. The Minks because
And they're
like-
How
gonna
the fuck
like
are the
break
minks gonna
off
hold it up in
chunks.
midair? They don't
well,
fly.
they just
Okay,
hold it.
some
you
of
know?
them actually do fly.
No, they jump
they
and
can
change
fly,
the
don't they?
direction.
Yeah,
they
some
jump-
of them actually do fly. Like the
Oh,
the
combo.
The
Carrots,
helicopter
yeah.
tailing.
Oh, we literally had this convo already. Yeah, but that's like just
That's too little. It's too little. Yeah, it's too
That's
little.
you know that's good enough for Nekomamushi.
Bro, this is
so-
an island.
Also-
It's an island.
Yeah, real quick, Bean. That's also like, first of all, we don't know if Nekomamushi was doing
Marvel
that.
shit.
Don't say Nekomamushi. Don't put his name in there. But
I feel
also,
like it's just
that's
a
like
general
that's like
storyline
zero.
with it.
Viper?
Bean,
perhaps?
Bean, that's zero resist. Like they're able to change. They're able to basically fly with their tails, zero resistance. If they were against an island, they would be pushed down without any like issue. They would be knocked out.
I mean,
Well,
depends
it
how.
could be like
how,
it doesn't have to be just the minks, you know. I don't know. I feel like they're definitely going to
Yeah.
go again for something.
I think
it all depends
I
on
think
how
that-
well they can fly
I
too.
think that could be something that Komurasaki has a hand in, and how the island being falling on the capital is dealt with.
Komurasaki slaps the island, and then it's just like,
True.
and
He's
then it
gonna
just
drop
goes back
it
into
back
the
into
water.
Where's Kuma when you need him?
Kuma did.
No, what's going to happen is Kaido is going to have a redemption moment, and he's going to fly up and stop it like the Iron Giant.
Oh God, help me if that happens. I'll fucking.
You know
be
what
so
happens. You know what
pissed.
happens. You know what happens. So Big Mom loses Zeus again. Nami gets Zeus, feeds him the black balls, and he makes him large and catches the island with Zeus.
Oh my God.
You know
Kill
what?
me, kill me, kill
I'll
me,
do you
dude.
one better. She pulls an Enel and makes him grow, and he just fucking blasts the island apart. Just
them on
destroys it right out
And
of it.
then,
Destroying
then
all
the breeze rain all
samurai
over
and everything.
the city.
Yeah.
Guessing that all the samurai are murdered. Then
We need no return ships.
right?
It's a
They
good thing they
were
think
getting
of. He called it. You know, they're not going to need him.
Oh
that'll-
my God,
point.
man.
That'll be the big emotional sacrifice at the end.
everyone dies.
Nami has to kill all
That
the
is
Only-
the big
Only Luffy
emotional
survives 'cause of
sacrifice.
his- only Luffy survives because of his invulnerability to lightning.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there you
God.
go.
That's
And
how he
that's all
becomes
that
Fire
matters.
King.
That's
No,
why
Luffy,
everyone
Luffy
forgives
will
her
just
for
Luffy
it.
will just awaken and make everyone rubber.
Yeah, no, true. You remember how we talked about that? The island bouncing around the cap.
Oh my fucking god.
What's
That's
happening?
probably gonna happen too.
Oh, we did it. We saved Wano, and everything's just on fire.
We did it. We saved Wano. Kinemon's wife is just fucking pummeled by the island.
Literally, the entire island is just fucking squished under rubber.
Oh my God, what a disaster.
And worse, it starts bouncing, so Rex like all
Yeah,
the fucking
everything,
Wano and not
yeah.
just the capital.
Falls upside down in the water, and all the devil fruit users drown.
What a fucking do that. Yeah. I mean, if this conversation goes to show anything, it just is like, yeah, how the fuck are they doing this, dude? It's gonna be.
It's a
I have no
doozy.
idea. Nobody has any fucking idea how this is gonna
The
work
pig
out well.
stuff. It's the pig. He's gonna do it. He's gonna catch the island.
Oh
No,
man.
I
true.
still say,
The pig's
I
gonna
still
open up his sewed up mouth and just eat the fucking island.
oh shit, you might be right actually. Like one of the mountain guys comes out and, or like a herd of them come out. Oh shit, they remembered.
What's gonna happen is they're gonna like everyone in Wano is gonna take one hesitant step.
I think the one thing, the one
They're gonna move
thing,
the capital that way.
yeah, dude. The one thing I'm convinced of, I think Komurasaki is gonna have to evacuate the flower capital.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing I'm like really sure is gonna happen is that she's gonna take a big part in like corralling the citizens out of the flower capital during their part.
Another small possibility regarding Momo is that Zunisha he like calls Zunisha to defend the capital or some shit like that. Because I think Zunisha's big enough to genuinely catch that island. If I recall correctly, he's actually fucking ginormous.
Yeah, big enough to at least collide with it and like, cause it's carrying an island on its back. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
Onigashima is
Push it out of the way.
Fucking the Pokemon Duke.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna see its legs then.
I think the Zunisha shit is like becoming more and more reasonable. I mean, as soon as
Maybe that's how
the
Zunisha
island
finally
lifted
died.
in the air, that was like the first thing that came into my mind was Zunisha, dude. Because how is that? There's no plausible way. This is not the Noah. This is not like in the water. This is like if that island is let go, it's just whoop, and then everybody's
So-
dead. And
So everyone,
instantly dead.
so everyone's gonna evacuate onto Zunisha. Is that what you're suggesting?
They could do
No.
that. They could just run
Exactly.
away. They could just get to a different area, and then Zunisha maybe like stalls it. Or just like you know, but like Zunisha's the only thing big enough to like do anything about that island moving and going and falling on the flower capital. Literally the only thing. Nothing else could potentially help except for the idea that Momo is able to awaken his power somehow and be able to, you know, float the island. That's like the only
Yeah.
thing.
Well, the other
Or
thing
if like
was,
Yamato is like some mythical that could somehow help.
Yeah,
that could all
that could be it, but it's like the it's slim. It's slim fucking chances, man. Like this shit is
see, my
Zunisha is like
idea
one of
was
the
it would just
solids that
be
we
a
know of. Yeah.
repeat of, it would just be a repeat of the Noah, and maybe they would just work together to destroy the island before it dropped.
but everyone's on the
So
island.
it's
It's
not
that everyone on the island would die then.
well, no, everyone on the
well.
island would just fall, but
And die.
you know,
And die. Yeah.
that's a lot easier to handle and deal with than you know the island itself falling.
I don't think it
'Cause
is.
they're not all that high up, I'm sure. It's not like
Mm.
they're soaring to fucking space. They're not falling from
Not
the
everyone's goofy,
atmosphere.
man. Not
They're
everyone's
high. They're fucking high enough to die. You better believe
Yeah.
it.
definitely high enough to die. 100%.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's the thing. So it's like, who has the ability to stop that? And who would be willing, right? Like Kaido could stop it, but like, is he willing? No, I don't think his mind's gonna change. He'd probably rather just let it drop. Does Big Mom have any ability that could potentially stop this?
I mean, yeah.
Unlikely,
I mean-
potentially. I don't know, but like the things that come to mind is like, yeah, it's like Zunisha comes to mind, dude. And then we even have
wonder
we
if,
have we have the backup for it too. We know that Momo stayed behind on Zoe to talk, you know, and like he specifically talked about, you know, trying to figure out about Zunisha.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a little seed that was planted way back then. So it's like yeah, I mean, people like to meme about it all the time, but I think it's a legitimately it's a real possibility for real. That's
I think
Zunisha
it's
shows
one of
up.
the most likely. More likely.
It
than a lot
feels
of-
like the easiest explanation. It feels like the easiest answer to this
it's
to
more
this
likely
problem.
to me. It's more likely to me than Momo creating the clouds.
Yeah, same. Pretty
I still-
readily.
I
You know,
still think-
Momo's a little kid.
I don't know. I think Momo himself needs to do something though. It can't just be like
Momo has to do something. It doesn't have to be.
commanding Zunisha to do something. It's like not that impactful.
I'd feel like it was, but
I
he would also do something himself beyond just that command. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked about this before, but I think Momo's gonna do something in terms of like his leadership, not
We-
the fighting thing or whatever.
Yeah, we had like a big talk one of the other podcasts where we talked about Momo needs to do something big. And we'd never, you know, none of us really have an idea of what exactly that is, but something has to happen with him.
Well, my idea was that he would provide leadership and like a speech that would rally the troops, and then Luffy would be like the other side of the coin, I guess. He'd be like the one that provides the strength to back up that speech, I guess.
Yeah, that's
And
already that works, you know, and that also works with the idea of like Kinemon too. Like Kinemon's not Momo, but like the idea that you know, they're leaving it to Luffy, right?
Yeah. And
so-
Oda's good at speeches, so I think he'd be able to make it feel impactful enough to
And
warrant that being the only thing that
some-
he does.
Yeah, something like Momo telling Zunisha to move to Wano and like get there and do something. That would be awesome. I mean, yeah, I think everybody would love that.
He had the foresight to do that, then that's still like
Right? Yeah, it's like that's a huge moment for Momo. Even if it's just however you want to put it, it'd just be a huge moment for Momo for him to be able to do something like that. You know? Yeah.
I don't think it has to be something regarding his strength at all. I think it'd be a little bit jarring if it were, just because of how young he is
Could
and
be
how,
a bit.
how
Could be a bit of
built up.
both. You know, could be a bit of both.
I-
He doesn't
maybe.
need to have some like great strength feat, but you know him like. I mean, and he's already done it a little bit, so that's already kind of satisfied. But like the idea of like him putting like himself physically, not himself as like a leader or like you know as like the idea. It's like he's already put himself like his physical body at risk, right? So maybe that happens again. I don't know, but he's already done like a lot in that.
Way would go a long way, even if he doesn't succeed in whatever selflessness he's trying to portray,
Right. Yeah.
like in terms of strength or like whatever. I think it'd be very enticing compared to him cutting Kaido or creating clouds to catch the island or something like that. I think that would feel jarring to me in terms like the difference in portrayal of the character between something like that.
Yeah, I think
Feel a little-
Oda could pull off the clouds thing, but you know, it's not what comes to mind. I don't think Oda would do that either. I think Zunisha is like when
Well,
you
it's like so like basically the thing's gonna be like the island is gonna float over the flower capital, and then the citizens of the flower capital are going to witness Momonosuke doing this humongous feat of surrounding it with the clouds and like
I know what
saving
you're
everybody. Yeah.
I know what you're suggesting. I get what you're suggesting. I just think that's a very huge leap from what he's shown. And
You could-
I would not feel satisfied with that. It would feel unearned.
well, for me, like what in that same kind of area, what would make sense more to me is like Zunisha is there right on time and basically
Yeah.
blocks the island from getting there.
And that, on the other hand, would fit within what we understand about what Momo
Yeah,
can do.
and not only that, it's been laid. The groundwork has been laid for that too.
Yeah, and the only difference would be that Momo would be the one making the decisive decision. That's redundant. to actually do that. It wouldn't have to be like any massive change in like his actual capabilities. It would be a change in his mentality, or him developing in that regard, where he's not indecisive about things and whatnot. He decisively decided to, you know, gotta keep that redundancy consistent. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the Zunisha shit might have been a meme like a year ago, but you guys, I think everybody needs to get ready for Zunisha to show up because it's
I don't
good
think
shot of it
ever a
happening.
meme? Like why would what other reason would Zunisha have been brought up for than to
Well,
invest
yeah,
that?
but people talked about the final war. People talked about this, that, whatever.
It's
You know,
also possible, yeah.
and it was memed about like a lot. Like Zunisha showing up was like always kind of like a joke. You know what I mean?
And before we thought like the borders were a literal thing. So before we even got to Wano, so a lot of people were
Right?
thinking
Yeah.
literally Zunisha literally breaks the borders. Was a lot of things.
I
going-
mean, I don't think Zunisha could like move her like legs to be high enough to enter Wano, if you know what I'm saying.
I think she could, considering those legs are like fucking miles long.
No, like just like her joints. Like you try to like, if you were like an elephant, you'd have to like, like something like how you try to step over a gate. That's basically what she'd have to do. I don't know if like elephants could do
No,
that.
because
Just bring
the
it. That's all.
height of Wano would still be below her body. Her body would still be higher up than Wano itself. So it's not like
I don't know. I'm pretty. Wano
Potentially.
is like
It's potentially that. It's potentially a
it's
scenario
also-
like that. Yeah.
yeah, it's also important to remember that the closer you get to land, the more shallow the actual water surrounding it is. So I mean,
Well, we
I-
know Wano is not like that. Wano is raised off the ground.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
true.
Like Wano is like a weird ass fucking geography.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
We'll have to see. I don't know.
Look in voice chat.
I'm sure at worst, Zunisha is like eye level with Wano's actual like
Look at that.
mass.
I feel like she is definitely, or he, whoever it is definitely taller than Wano itself.
Could be. It could be.
Because Zunisha reaching
Based
the
on that.
clouds is the thing. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
probably
but
big,
according to
like,
that diagram from Adam, the clouds are right there.
Got him.
But obviously
No.
that doesn't mean shit. But
Well, look at the size of the ship. Hmm?
Look at the size of the
yeah,
fish.
I was gonna meme about that, but I didn't even fucking want to bring that up. It's so silly. It could be either
No,
way. I don't know. I think though, it's a legitimate possibility. Like it's just like it could happen.
Zunisha has to
Unironically.
complete its journey like that.
Mhm.
There was some history there that like there's going to be a closure, and I can see this being the perfect way to bring that all full circle.
For Momo to be like the final ace in the hole, as Odin's son, to finally like hit that note where it's like what thing could he do that finally puts him equal with Odin, despite being just an 8-year-old kid, right? And that's like
Yeah.
one of those things that immediately comes to mind. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just right there. Yeah.
Look at Zunisha makes it and like sprays a fountain of water out of the nose to catch the island to do some weird shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, do we have anything else we want to say about the chapter?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up a couple of things. So in the little silhouette panel where they show like how high is the ceiling go,
Mhm.
we have Mr. Shanks himself depicted very differently from the other people. How does anyone think that's like important, or do
Wait,
you
what do
think
you-
it's just the way he decided to do it?
But just that he's not facing the screen.
And he's not like giving off like a toothy grin like the other ones are.
Well, it's
No.
because he's a celestial
Well,
dragon.
he's not a Shanks is in a D. Is
Neither is
Neither
Odin.
is Odin.
I don't
Yeah.
remember. Okay, yeah, he isn't.
Yeah, most of those people aren't.
Yeah,
I mean,
two-
they
two on the
just
left
they
are.
were smiling people. That's all. Shanks is not.
I think it's
That's really all
probably
Down to.
it's probably just an art choice to have him fill the middle there, especially because Shanks is like the direct connection to Luffy, right? They are
Yeah.
that line is there between them. So I think that's mostly what that is.
Or are
It's
you
just an art choice.
implying Shanks' evil plot? Are you thinking Shanks evil?
I
Well,
don't know. Yeah, I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it. I don't think Shanks is evil, but like
I don't think
I
it's
do
anything
think it's
special.
weird he's depicted this
Yeah.
way compared to the other people.
I think it's just in character because all the other characters like are like that from what we know. Besides,
think-
we don't know.
I think
but-
you know what the idea that came to mind actually.
Mhm.
And this isn't necessarily like I didn't think this about Shanks, but what came to mind was there's this one scene in the anime where like it showed like Odin and like Yasue laughing at Orochi. And that's what this made me think of. Like kind of like the laughing faces of Odin, Whitebeard, Roger, Zebek, all of these like legends who they, you know, the people that Kaido he like admires and he like looks at them and is like, "Oh yeah, like these laughing faces, haha." But Shanks is not that to Kaido, you know what I mean? And that's like that's going way too deep. It doesn't have to be that, but that just came to mind for me. The idea that like, you know, the kind of like the laughing faces and then the fact that Kaido looks at Luffy and he's like, "Fuck, dude, is this guy gonna like surpass me at this point? Like, you know, could he become one of them and move beyond me, despite me being kind of stuck at this spot forever and always like kind of reaching for that goal, right? And I was never able to get it. But you know, they have like these. You kind of get what I'm saying there. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, he's wondering if this kid is about to go up with those same people who either he couldn't catch or who kind of put him in his place. it
It's
looks
like who Kaido respects and he admires, but he also he's like he hates them. He's like jealous of them because they were able to cement their names in history in the way that they have, right? Kaido
Well,
never
for this,
never
it's
got
because
that.
well, these are just people he's citing as being able to fight him in general.
Yeah, I
So
know.
it looks like these are just the people who have like knocked him down a peg or two at some point.
Of course, yeah. It's a bit deep. It's a
Yeah.
bit like going too far. I'm reaching a little bit, but like that kind of the idea of what I just said came to mind when I saw that. It's reaching, but you know, we'll see. Maybe we can look back at that, given some more characterization of Kaido later, and maybe take that interpretation. But
In
I
regards
feel like
to
Zebek being here is Zebek being here kind of indicates to me that a flashback with him in it in Wano is a bit more likely now.
oh, we're getting one.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
quite a
Well, I don't know.
flashback.
I don't know if they'll show him yet, but in the flashback, but maybe they will. But
If
agree.
not in Wano, then it'll be like when we cut away in the next act to whatever
there's-
Blackbeard is doing.
there's a couple of things to like support the idea. One, you know, first we're introduced Zebek during the Wano arc. Then the other things recently is like right, we see this little thing where it shows Zebek again, and then just the other chapter, Big Mom talks about their debt and what happened on God Valley. That makes me think that like we might get to see a little bit of God Valley as a part of Kaido's flashback if he gets one. We might get a little bit of that where, you know, we're kind of getting his fruit.
Yeah,
Like we get the scene where she gives him the fruit or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
I think that yeah, I think when we saw that incident mentioned during like between one of the acts, I think that was hyping up more of the finale stuff for Wano, in a way. So I agree with that. I think that will be shown during Wano and not later on, probably. as part of
Also,
Kaido's
just
last
me,
fight.
but it seems like this is the most clear we've gotten a glimpse of Zebek so far. Like his last silhouette, we didn't have nearly as much to distinguish him from. You know.
I thought his last silhouette looked like exactly the same
It's
as
like this, except there's less. It's more black and less white. That's all.
Oh, is that the case?
Yeah, that
There's a
it's
bit
not
more.
much of a difference.
You can see
yeah.
his face a bit. You can see
But
his
the
face a bit
position is
more.
like exactly the same and everything.
Oh,
Maybe,
it's
maybe
Ah, that
shading.
me. I
Not
don't know.
exactly the same. It's a little bit more, a little bit clearer. We get to see, you know, the little veins on his forehead. I think aside from that though, it's not too much, right?
Oh yeah, it is different. I just pulled it up. You're right. Oh, people are drawing parallels between Zebek and Dragon.
Well,
I mean, he does kind of look like an angry dragon there.
the government does call both of them terrorists if I'm not mistaken. But that's about the only comparison.
I don't
know
need
about
Luffy's
that.
lineage to get even more insane. All right, I think we
I'm
got enough.
not, I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm
Bro,
just
Garp just kills his brother on fucking God Valley.
Garp brother. Oh
Dude,
my
Garth had a
God.
shitty life, man.
Fucking imagine his Garp brother.
or he killed.
Dude, it would've
Or he
been
killed.
like-
No. I guess it could also be like his brother-in-law, something like that. Because like, if it was Dragon's dad, and Dragon is like actually not Garp's son, but it's like, you know how like Luffy take the maiden name or whatever.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
know what I'm saying.
I hate everything.
I don't need
Yeah,
that.
that would be interesting.
Would it?
Nah.
Would it be interesting? Do we need
No,
more real ties?
It would be interesting. I don't know if it would be good or enjoyable though.
Like,
there
yeah,
you go.
I
there
really
you
don't
go.
like when the series like we're all like the big names and strong people or from like a lineage. I don't really like that. One Piece sort of pushes that, but they don't push it too much. And
One Piece is not as bad as other series with that. I feel
Yeah.
that way. You know, like there's obviously a little bit of that, but it's not so bad. I've never felt like it was intrusive or it felt like, oh, you know,
It-
everything is like all lined up. Oh, the fate. Oh, yeah.
It's
Like,
basically Ace, Luffy, and fucking
Luffy's-
Dragon. and that's
Luffy's
basically-
parents, and then like Ace and Roger, and then
Yeah.
Shanks is like
Sanji later.
involved in that a little bit, but
Yeah, you're not
Did
just
Shanks?
you're not just strong by default of being related to
Well,
someone in this
just
series.
just
That
that
was
you know
big.
he's not related, but you know he's like involved in like the inherited will stuff. But the inherited will thing, I think is what separates the like the lineage kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's like good. You know, I don't know. It's
Well,
fine. It's fine.
still like Luffy's not strong because he's related to Garp or Dragon or anything like that. He's strong because Garp raised him and like trained him like a marine.
Oh,
as
yeah.
a
Yeah,
child.
And I'm sure he did something similar with Dragon too. I'd assume.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's why Kobe is as strong as he is right now. And it's only been like 2 years since he first met Garp.
Yep. Big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy.
But yeah,
All right.
yeah.
What else?
One Piece just acknowledges lineage, but doesn't like blame it on stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah. Was there anything else we want to talk about?
I don't think so.
We good? Any other little notes whatsoever?
just a little bit of no. I don't know if it's like a mistake or if it's purposeful, but Zoro did not turn his blades black when attacking Kaido.
That's just a mistake.
Yeah. I just thought that was
not.
They
I don't
do that-
think
they
it's.
do that a lot with swords.
I don't think it's a
Yeah.
mistake. What I think it is actually just Zoro's not going all out.
God damn it.
Mhm.
I mean, you're right. Obviously,
I just
If he's
don't see-
saying
I
he has
don't-
to unleash intellect,
Yeah, I just don't see a reason for him to go all out against Kaido. Such a pathetic opponent. Is just yeah.
I mean, he could probably kill him right now if he really felt like it. But like as it stands, I feel like there's no need to. He's just letting Luffy grow first to catch up to him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because Zoro can't have a
It's just
captain that's
plot-
weaker than him, right?
Kaido just has plot armor. That's all.
Yeah. Kaido's fine.
Yeah, Kaido has plot armor against Zoro.
Oh my god.
All right.
But,
Well,
in that regard, Kid isn't using hockey on his giant fist, but it's definitely hockey imbued. Like there's no doubt.
Literally, only Luffy has used hockey in this entire chapter. I think.
Visibly, but I'm pretty sure they're all.
Visibly, yeah,
Yeah.
visibly. It's-
Oda's
yeah.
really inconsistent with that shit. Not
I
that
wouldn't. I wouldn't call it like. I think it's like an intentional choice, like
I think it's as
to
simple
show
as
detail and stuff like that.
yeah. I think it's as simple as the robot arms look cooler without the black.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I agree. I agree with that, and it's the same with like things like Cracker. You know, in the past.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
You
Basically,
know,
it's
I
that.
don't know. With the way like Oda was able to draw Virgo covered in hockey, I feel like he would make those arms look really fucking cool if they
I
were
feel like Vergo looked
like
stupid.
shaded.
I feel like Vergo looked kind of stupid, to be honest. I'd be
God
like,
damn
"Oh."
it. But like, look at Luffy with his Gear Fourth. Like, imagine that kind of pattern, but with outlining the machinery for
I
the thing.
like the like white. I mean, I guess it's probably different in colors, probably like gray, whatever, silver. But I like how it's like all white. It looks cool, especially with like the skull included.
Mm.
I don't know. I think it looks cool as is.
Well, I just mean like the fist, not like everything. So like the skull and everything will be white, but then the fist would be half black and kind of almost like a dark chrome looking plating.
So cringe is what you're saying.
Oh fuck you.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There is a lot of detail there too that would be lost if it were colored. Like the like specific mechanical parts going into the hand and fist, and whatever.
That's
Well, those you would just outline in white,
Would you?
just
Yeah, I
like
don't know.
Luffy's muscles. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's different.
Well, anyway, that's a whole other.
Yeah.
That's like a long ass argument. Yeah. Why don't we call it quits here? It was good. It was good chatting. All
It's
that.
good to see that Zoro can't hit Kaido. Dog shit character. Swear to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need Sanji up there to cook them.
Yeah. You gotta cook the fish, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's too bad, you know. Sanji can't even fight 50% of the population because he's such a jobber. It's very unfortunate. But you know, all that stuff is said. I really enjoyed talking with you guys, despite all that. And yeah, I'm just gonna.
And at least Sanji has a job, alright? Zoro ain't got shit.
Yeah.
Get your ass-
I just want to point out, Luffy could damage Kaido and Zoro couldn't.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I think that puts to bed all of the Luffy is Zoro's equal kind of.
But I mean,
fans
what
out
about
there.
what about what we just said? Zoro's
Before-
just letting
before-
him.
Okay, memes aside. I think if we push that all aside, I still think Luffy, Zoro, Sanji are one like slightly better than the other, but to the point where if they were to fight, they could come out equal. Like anyone could win. That's how I've always saw it.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
Oh,
That's how I
think
think
Zoro's
too.
the strongest, and I do think Zoro is stronger than Sanji slightly. But I think if they fought, it'd be like 60-40, not like 10-90 or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
I don't know. I
For
don't know.
sure,
I
for sure.
I think Luffy now is like 10.
Yeah,
It's like
Luffy
1090
makes
versus
it
them.
90.
Maybe
That might be
maybe-
might be the case for Luffy, but for Zoro and Sanji, that's 100%. That's how it's always been. Yeah, that's how it's always
Yeah.
been.
I agree.
I mean, sure, but that's them. I was talking about Luffy and Zoro.
I mean, we bring Jinbei into the picture, then it's
Yo,
a
That fucking Winbei, man.
100-0, dude. Even
Winbei,
against
Fucking strongest on the
Luffy.
crew.
Dude, the only reason Jinbei is not against Kaido right now is because he'd one-shot him. Like seriously.
Exactly.
For
dude,
real.
I'm telling you.
He's a fucking
so
fish.
weird.
Jinbei's the
But the
fucking guy in
only-
the sea.
Yeah, exactly. The better fish.
Based. All right, that's enough. I'm turning it off.
Yeah.
Whoever's still here listening, goodbye. Thanks for tuning in, all the good shit.